Yo, what's up? What's up? What's happening? You. Hopefully everybody sees this. Hopefully everybody knows I'm here. We got a lot of stuff to go over today. Yes, TakeDownMan will be here. He said he would be in about 10 to 15 minutes so I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory of what has went down so far. And hopefully everybody is with me at this point. This is gonna be an interview with TakeDownMan live, a live interview. Hopefully everybody is on the same page. Hopefully we're on the same page. This is going to be a live interview with TakeDownMan. Yes, TakeDownMan, former YouTuber. He has decided to make just poke his head out the hole for a little bit, I guess, to tickle my fancy. Shadow Arc, 2 donations from Shadow Arc so far. I appreciate it. So shout out to Shadow Arc. And essentially, guys, here's the backstory between me and TakeDownMan. Here's the backstory between me and TakeDownMan. He will be here shortly, but let me go ahead and give a backstory between me and him. If you don't know who TakeDownMan is, he was the OG. He was the godfather. He was the first one to really do these deep web, deep dive videos. He was the one that was talking about, you know, daisies, and the one that was talking about all this crazy shit that was going on in the deep web far before anybody else was talking about it. As a matter of fact, he did a safety guide with Mudahar back in the day. Remember Mudahar when he used to do the deep web dives? Yeah, pretty much TakeDownMan was the guy to get him and a lot of people onto this type of stuff. He is the OG. General Williams, appreciate the $1 donation. So essentially, the point I'm trying to make right now is we're going to have a civil conversation today, me and him. I cannot have people in the audience antagonizing him. I cannot have people in the audience trying to attack or do anything amongst that. You can't do it, okay? He does know how I feel about him. How I feel about him is public, but it is irrelevant to the situation at hand because there's very good evidence that he is sending me with very good receipts. There's a time and place for everything. And as of right now, the idea of having him on and just trying to hammer home on top of him, that's a stupid thing to do. That's very stupid. Even if I were to ask him questions that were pertaining to negative topics, which I will not this stream as far as I'm planning right now, I'm not. I'm going to be talking about other things. I would be in a more respectful manner because that's what's very important, right? Because when you sit down and you have a discussion with somebody, it's about being respectful. Now, when I bring up the evidence in a video, let's say I won't be the most respectful, of course, in my videos. But the point is, you have to be respectful inside of discussions and debates. And right now, we're not having a discussion. We're not having a debate. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff that he decided to send me with receipts, you know, and some information he has for me. Now, again, here's essentially what happened between me and TakeDownMan. What happened was I made videos, you know, letting my feelings out. It's been very clear that I've been watching him since I was a teenager. Over time, you know, you stop watching YouTubers because you kind of forget about him. Plus, he became inactive. I then would move on to different topics. I then ended up becoming a YouTuber myself. I made my feelings known. Hold on, check this shit out. Oh, take that shit with you. It's on eBay for $3.99, right? Hold on. Okay, so anyway, made my feelings known about him. I don't have exactly, like, I have a special place for him in my heart, pause, because I did grow up watching him. But at the same point in time, I do have negative ideas about him. But inside this stream, I will be unbiased when it comes to questioning and, you know, stuff like that, especially when it's going to be about, you know, evidence that he has for me. And I made my feelings publicly known, and he did not take them personal at all. He was like, yeah, he was like, okay, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He didn't take them personal whatsoever. So essentially, here's what's going to happen. Better 145 so generate. Yeah. So here's what's going to happen, yo. Is being passive aggressive not good? I don't prefer passive aggressiveness. I think passive aggressiveness is a feminine trait. You know, the idea of, like, if y'all don't know what passive aggressiveness is, it's about being an asshole, but not being an asshole while being an asshole. So essentially, it's like this. Imagine if me and you have a problem. I put my keys on a dinner table. You take my keys and put them on top of a dresser and say, you don't know where my keys went. That's passive aggressiveness. Very stupid shit. I'm very upfront with how I feel, and I'm very upfront with what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? I let him know ahead of time. I texted him, and we talked last night. Me and him talked. We went over a couple of things last night. And right now I have some topics. We may and or may not have some people in the audience asking him questions. May or may not, depending on how long this drags out and how much time he has to spare. Okay? So essentially, he also reached out to me on Twitter. This is how this got started. I reached out to him for an interview. He denied it at first. He then saw my Snuff R73 video, and he was like, yo, I know that Vorsk guy. The Vorsk, Snuff R73, Vorsk is a real man. Okay, that's what TakeDownMan told me. He sent me empirical data that Vorsk is a real man. Okay, he sent me old psych ward forums and shit like that. Yes, this guy's a real guy. Vorsk is a real guy. Okay, and he may be the creator of Snuff R73. He may be. This is what we're gonna go over today. And he has empirical data. We're gonna be going over. We're gonna be going over Vorsk. We're gonna be going over Snuff R73. Certain groups that he was a part of, like 222. What is the point of the groups? Clinton Seals, Psych Ward Forums. We're gonna be going over Master Chan, YNC, Ogrish, Best Score. We're gonna be going over him being flagged to oblivion. DeepWeb shit. We're gonna be going over his Disney signing. We're gonna be going over other things on the DeepWeb. We're gonna be going over how did he start. We're gonna be going over another YouTuber known as Surviving Life. If you don't know who Surviving Life is, I did some research last night. Hold on to your ass cheeks. Surviving Life. You know Burns Show? How Burns Show live reacted to child material? Apparently Surviving Life did that years before Burns Show did. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're going to be talking about Surviving Life today. I did some research on him. So Surviving Life, again, was a guy who was live reacting to illegal child material years before Burns Show did it. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about other illegal material and how it came to be and, discussions of it on the deep web, other forum sites on the deep web, and things like that. Yeah. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. And, of course, we're waiting for him. As of right now, we are currently waiting for him. He will be here. Yeah, there is a lot of fucking weirdos. I'm currently waiting for him. He said he'll be about 10 to 15 minutes late. Again, he did say he will be on this interview. So we'll see how that works. I'm currently waiting on him. Again, he told me 10 to 15 minutes late. So it's been just a little bit. It hasn't been too long. So we'll see what happens. As of right now, we're just waiting on him. You see, I'm going to have to ban you from chat. If you keep that up, I'm going to have to ban you from chat. If some of you guys keep up with the stupidity, I'm going to have to say I'm going to have to ban you from chat. As of right now, I'm trying to make shit go smoothly. And if you're going to make this hard for me to get things to move smoothly and to go about things in a discussion and or have a cordial conversation, I'm just going to have to ban you. Because you're not respecting me. You're going to have to respect me. And it's only very few of you. There's 300 to 400 people here. It's only 2 to 3 of you. If you're not going to be respectful and if you're not going to let me have a cordial conversation and you're going to antagonize and you're going to try to deter and shake the boat for, your own entertainment's sake, I'm going to have to ban you. Okay? I want this to go smoothly. You're not going to piss on my parade today. And you're not going to piss on it for everybody else. Everybody here came for an interview. Everybody here came for him, right? Pause. And if you're going to come here and think you're just going to piss on everything, I'm not going to let you do that. You're just going to get neutered and then you're going to get sent away. Stop it. This is your only warning. Anything after this is going to start with timeouts and then it's just a ban. Okay? I'm making myself very clear here. I'm putting my line in the sand. Any stupidity after this, ban and timeouts. You want to have fun? You can have fun. But if you're going to sit here and try to antagonize and poke the bear and throw rocks and be stupid, timeouts and then bans, okay? Making it very clear now. I'm not playing. Knock that out. Again, because it's getting really obnoxious. It's only a very few. 300 people here. It's only 2 to 3 of you. But you got to stop that. There we go. TakeDownMan is ready. Everybody in chat. Everybody in chat. Spam clapping emojis. Everybody in chat. Spam clapping emojis. TakeDownMan is here. Spam some clapping emojis. I'm not gonna call him until I see them clapping emojis. I'm not gonna call him to the clapping emojis. He says he's ready. Let's go, spam those clapping emojis, yo. Let's go, spam the clapping emojis, motherfuckers. Let's go. Spam them. I don't see them yet. I see one person doing it. Let's go, get to it. Come on. Make noise. All right, everybody. Okay. We're going to be calling them right now. Hopefully connection is good. Let me turn up my volume. Yo, what's up? How you doing?
All right. I heard you volume. I'm shit, that shit too loud.
Okay. Hopefully everything is good. Hopefully everybody can hear you clearly. Let me check my stream just to make sure everything is going well. Let me
All
just.
right.
Uh, Give me 1 second. My stream's delayed. All right, there we go. There we go. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. All right, man. How you doing? How's
All
everything
right.
going?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
You already know. I pretty much sent you a decent list of things I'm gonna be asking you about. You know, if anything, I would just
Yeah.
like some answers and shit like that, and we're just gonna take it from the top there. And if you are willing to do so, answer some questions from the crowd after the fact. But we do have a hefty amount to go over. And one thing I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say. Before I start the interview or start any questions, and you want to give information on it, what would be the chances that after this interview, depending on how it goes, that you'd be willing to do a follow up or anything else for extra information?
I mean, that's fine.
All right,
I'm good either way.
all right, cool, cool, cool. Let me turn your voice up a little bit, just for everybody to hear you
All
better.
right.
All right, so here's my question: with Snuff R73, when you saw my video, what was your initial reaction on it when you saw it? Because I saw that you tweeted me after you saw it. What was the initial reaction on that?
Well, my initial reaction, honestly, was somebody sent me your video, and they were like, "Hey, remember Forrest?" I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Wasn't he like the Snuff R73 guy?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I know he had it on his YouTube, and like he was around in 2014." And they said the Snuff R73 didn't come out till 2015. So
Okay.
that's what I was trying to do.
So when it comes down to it, who the fuck is Vorsk? Who is that guy? I've heard his name get thrown around. I didn't even know Vorsk was a person until you told me. I thought Vorsk was just some like French word. Because when I first heard about Snuff R73, a French guy was talking about it on a forum site, and it was all in French. I had to translate it to English, so I just thought Vorsk was a French word. No one knew about it, but now you're telling me that it is a guy. And again, everybody, he sent me empirical data proving that it is an individual who was on forums back in the day in 2015. So who is Vorsk?
All right, so Voris basically he was a dude that was in that group called the 222. He was into he was more into like the kind of necro stuff. He was also into the abuse of kids. So that's what he was known for.
Okay.
And whenever I first got alerted to him, everybody kind of was like freaking out about this guy. He didn't really have many subscribers or anything at the time. He had maybe like 300 or 400, but all of his content had been up for like over a year, which I don't know how it stayed on YouTube. I mean, back then though, there was a lot of crazy stuff on YouTube, but
When you say his
so we ended up exposing him.
when you
Um,
when you say his content, what was he uploading to YouTube? What was Vorsk uploading to YouTube?
a lot of child abuse,
When you say
like kids getting smacked around with a belt, like kids with black eyes crying, like little kids, like maybe like 2, 3 years old.
so
They
he
were like little kids.
he was uploading like 3 to 4 to 5 minute videos of children being hit by
Yeah.
adults. Would you say this was around 2015, 2016, right?
Now this was in 2015 at the
Okay.
beginning
Okay. So when he was uploading
that I was
videos,
notified.
okay,
Those had been on there for like a year. So they had been there since 2014,
okay, so this is even before that. And how
which is
long?
why, yeah, which is why we couldn't understand how it was still up.
How
How like
long?
YouTube didn't take it down.
How long were these videos?
They were between 3 to 5 minutes long, and there was one that was like really long.
Okay.
It was probably between like 15 and 20 minutes, but
Oh,
it had like music to it and all that, and then it like showed like a bunch of like still shots of kids that were like crying, and then all of a sudden it just like went off of that and showed this lady just like whipping this little kid with a belt, like the actual buckle end, and I turned it off. Like I ain't gonna I couldn't watch it.
um.
Um,
So here's
but
my
there was a lot of other people that did.
here's because again, with everything you're saying, and everybody in the there's one guy who's still trolling inside my comment section, which you're going to get banned if you continue this. He has sent me empirical data as of right now. All he's doing is reiterating stuff to me that he's already proven to be true to me behind the scenes. He's already sent me receipts. He's already proven this to be true. So it's not a matter of if or what. No, he has proven this stuff to be true. I'm just asking him these questions in a manner so he can go ahead and regurgitate the evidence and regurgitate his answers that he's already told me behind the scenes. He's already told me this stuff. It is
and not only that, anybody who goes on your Twitter can see it because I left it in a reply.
Exactly. He also left the psych ward forums as well. So now here's my other question. Now, when it comes to Voice, you're saying that he did in fact upload child abuse content where kids were being hit with belts, which again, he has a pattern of doing something like this.
Belts, now, kicked, paddles, switches, everything.
Here's the thing. Has he ever uploaded illegal child material? You know what I'm talking about? Like child, you know.
Yeah, no.
He's never uploaded that. Okay.
No, I've never seen that.
Okay. So when it comes to Voice, did he have a purpose necessarily, or is it just demented behavior?
It was demented behavior, but at the same time, he was always looking for sympathy. Like, he's like, you know, I'm a person too, but this is just what I'm into. He would like show like kids that were like autopsied up, like cut apart, stuff like that. There was only one that somebody did say, but it was on some forum, and I refused to go on it because of what was on it.
Okay.
And I mean, I told you that last night.
Yes, you did.
With the little girl with the finger thing. Yeah. And I don't even know if that's appropriate to say on YouTube or not.
Okay. But, so I'll describe it. I'll describe it the best I can. So essentially, what TakeDownMan is telling me is that someone had texted him and alerted him that it was Voice who uploaded this content, correct? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially what TakeDownMan is telling me that Voice was on a DeepWeb forum, which again, he has proven that this guy's a forum rat. He's always on forums. He was on the psych ward forums that he did send me. Voice was uploading illegal child material not on YouTube, but on a DeepWeb forum of a girl who was mutilated and had parts of herself put into herself, and that people were telling him about it and saying, hey, you should check this out. And TakeDownMan being himself, he said, no, I'm not going to go look into this shit. You guys are sick. Don't tell me about this. He essentially said, no, I don't want to know any more about this shit. But that's the person who Vorsk is. Again, the guy whose name is attached to Snuff R73, the 11-minute mixtape that is about children inside of Syria and different wars inside the emergency room and autopsy photos of babies. And you got to understand this. He sent me Psych Forum, which I will be going over in a video. It was forum pages of a psych ward forum in which this guy named Vorsk back in 2015 was talking about how he has feelings about necropedophilia, which necropedophiliac is the name of Snuff R73. It's called Snuff R73 necropedophiliac, in which he was stating that he is a pedo. He was stating that he is into necrophilia and that he makes makeshift dolls and abuses them and rips them to pieces, and that he started falling out of love of doing it, so he started to recondition himself to like it more. This is who Vorsk is. These are forum pages from 9 to 10 years ago. So before some people start saying this isn't true, these are forum pages that are 9 to 10 years old. This is not something you can fake last week. Okay, this is not something he can make up in a week and say, here, Cold Raven. This is shit that's 10 years old that has been sitting around. Okay, and he's not the only person I've heard talk about Vorsk at this point now that he's brought him up. So going off of that, let's talk about his group. What's the name of his group?
It was 222.
Okay.
It was called 2 is Too Young to Die. They're all pedo necro hardcore. It's a really weird combination. I mean, like, really weird combination. Like, these guys are into, like, the sickest of... I mean, it's bad enough to be into kids, but it's worse to...
Yeah, you're talking about there's another layer of hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, Vorsk was always like, well, I don't want to hurt a kid. I'm trying not to hurt a kid. I want, you know, I wish that the one that I told you about, he's like, I wish they'd have put her on my doorstep. I'd have took her inside and never told anyone. And I would have kept her and loved her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. But, yeah. That is, like, that's a...
This dude was crazy.
Yeah. Jesus Lord. Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. So essentially, remember how I just went over people that mutilated girl was on, you know, I guess a front doorstep, and they were telling, you know, TakeDownMan about it. TakeDownMan's like, I don't want to look into that. I don't want to see that. Vorsk commented on that. Not only would he upload it, but then he was saying that he wished he had taken her into his house and he would have kept her around. AK kept the corpse of a deceased little girl and he would have defiled her. This is what Vorsk wanted to do. The guy whose name is Vorsk, and he was making, essentially, we're not sure. This is something we're going to talk about later. Necropedophiliac. If you don't know what necropedophiliac is, necro means to be, you know, attracted to the dead. Pedophilia is to be attracted to children. Necropedophiliac. This guy's attracted to dead children, which he has admitted into psych ward forum sites, which TakeDownMan has sent me those psych ward forum sites, and I've looked through Vorska's comments, and I read them on the last stream. Incredibly disturbing shit. Now, going on from that, 222, how many members would you say is inside that group, and is Vorsk the leader?
There was a few thousand. I don't know if he was the leader, but he was one of the main posters. He was a moderator on there. I know he was a moderator. I do remember that. I remember him like trying to talk to me back in the day. And I mean, the thing's been taken down since then, unfortunately, but he actually was like, well, they're already dead. I didn't kill them. So what does it matter? He's like, what are they going to do? They're just going to bury him and they're going to go to waste. And I'm like, dude, he was like, yeah, the more maggots in them and blah, 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 the better they're going to be. And he was into some really, really, like, he was one of the most demented ones there. And he was one of the main posters there. He was one of the main people that were coming up with ideas. But in that, they would talk about how to actually, like, get children to trust you and stuff like that so they could take them. And how to get away with it, how to make sure nobody knows, how to make sure nobody sees you, like everything.
It's funny.
And they were all really into that whole JonBenet Ramsey mess, too. They were all really into that.
JonBenet Ramsey, that name does ring a bell. Can you go into JonBenet Ramsey? That sounds incredibly familiar.
Yeah, she was, I'm not really sure how old she was. I remember she was a little girl. They dressed her up like a grown person for like that child modeling or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And she had gotten kidnapped and killed.
Oh.
And
okay, yeah, I know what
to
you're
this
talking
day,
about.
I don't think they've ever found her actual killer. They've had like suspicions of who it is, but they never found out.
It was for those pageants, right?
And yeah.
Okay.
And supposedly, and I don't know if this is true or not because people make up stuff all the time, but supposedly, the guy that did it was a member on 222.
Okay.
And he did like this whole expose of how he did it, when he did it, why he did it, and all that. And but I don't know if anything ever came from it besides this dude just saying he did it.
I got a question now. What forum site was these kind of conversations? Like, what was 222? What was their little their little hive? What was their little get together? The little tree that they put their hands on for safety? What was their site?
It was Master Jam.
Okay. Let's hold off to that topic because I do want to talk about that later. Clinton Teal.
Yeah.
Does that name ring a bell? Because when it comes to Snuff R73, it is said that Clinton Teal is kind of like an amalgamation of a small group of people going under a pseudonym and that they call themselves Clinton Teal. Have you ever heard of Clinton Teal at all? Yes or no?
I have only heard about him from you.
Okay.
Like ever since 2019, I've kind of left like a lot of that stuff alone. Like my YouTube got like taken down for a whole year, and I finally got it back. They terminated the channel is what they did, and I got it back literally just to have my old videos up. Oh. And I wasn't really interested after that because everything I've seen in the past is just really weird. So
yeah,
I mean I've seen a lot of really cool stuff. Like Intel Exchange, Galaxy, stuff like that. You know, that's all really cool places. All the hidden history, science, Tesla ideas, stuff like that was awesome. But then you got people like this. And they tend to really just thrive in places like that. So
I got a question here. You sent me those psych ward forms of Vorsk, proving that Vorsk is in fact a real man. You sent me very good evidence to prove that this is in fact a real individual. You've also sent me videos, you know, proving that this guy is a real person. Besides those psych ward forums, would you happen to have your hands on any other forums or not?
See, I don't know because a lot of the DeepWeb stuff he was on is gone. Whenever like a lot of the hosting things went down with that big FBI bust, a lot of those websites went down that he was on. They're probably on my Facebook fan page somewhere, but it's so long ago, it's like hard to scroll down like that. I found that one because as soon as you said that name, I remembered Vorsk.
Oh.
I was like, I remember that name. So I had to I scrolled through my pictures because I remember taking a screenshot and putting it up. But there's other stuff about him on there. There's stuff that people have commented about him on there, but it's way down. And honestly, I can't get that far down scrolling without it taking forever.
I actually, it's funny you say that. I looked up TakeDownMan Voice, and it did lead me to your old Facebook page, and I did find a post of you talking about Voice back in 2015. So again, everybody, what he is saying is in fact true. This is shit from 10 years ago. Unless TakeDownMan is a fucking time traveler, and he knew this conversation would happen, and he prepared ahead of time. There's no way. It's just impossible, So, okay, we went over...
Yeah, no, as soon as I heard that name, the dude was just so messed up. It was an easy name to remember.
So
it just really was, because at that time, I'd never heard of anything like that. So, like, he was the one who literally, I guess, was the introduction to all that really weird, messed up stuff.
I got a question here. When it came between you and Vorsk, who called out who? Was it him going after you first, or was it you exposing him for who he is first? What led to that?
Well, everybody was telling me about him, but like at the time, like the Wednesday he was on, I didn't want to go on because I was worried it was illegal stuff.
Okay.
Then out of nowhere, like I went after, I talked about the 222 is what I did. I did like a little documentary thing on him. And he was the first one to come on. He was the first one to respond. And then I just noticed, I was like, well, he's got a YouTube account. So I, looked him up on YouTube. And that's when I saw the really weird videos. So then I called him out.
Okay.
And maybe, dude, he had so many strikes. They took so many of his videos down. Because, whenever you report a video, YouTube sends you a response saying, we, found whatever on this video. We took it down.
Yeah, and you get a strike.
I had so many of those. Yeah, I've had so many of those. And his channel wasn't gone. It was weird. I'm like, how in the world does this guy have 5 or 6 strikes and he's still up? But then I noticed with this whole group, it was a constant thing. Oh. Then back then, though, there was YouTube Heroes. I don't know if you were around back then or not.
That sounds
But if you knew somebody that was a YouTube hero, even though you would constantly get, videos flagged, they could keep your channel up.
I did hear about that, yeah.
They were all like regular YouTubers, like me and you. But they actually had like another board that would keep people up.
Okay.
So
now I got a question. How active was he on the deep web?
He's very active on Master Chain. He was very active.
Okay.
He had probably a good 6,000-7,000 posts
on Master Chain.
On Master Chain, because you can click people's name. Whenever it was a thing,
so it's like
you
Reddit.
can actually click somebody's username and look them up, and you can see the number of posts they have.
So it's kind of like Reddit in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It was built like 4chan back in the day.
So I got a question.
Like 8chan, 4chan, all those.
Yeah. How many channels did Vorsk have, if you were to say, on the clear net? Because if he's uploading blatant child abuse, kids getting hit with belts, kids getting smacked. How many channels do you think he went through during this time, and or if he was always on that single channel? Because as you said, YouTube Heroes. What was it? Was it like a whole bunch of channels, or just this one sole channel?
Well, after we exposed him and they took the channel down, he just kept making them.
Okay.
He would make another one and another one and another one and another one, and it got tiring, to be honest. And every time it would have a lot of people on it though.
Okay.
It took him no time to get those subscribers back. And then it was in the thousands. Because me not thinking about it back then, I'm thinking I'm doing a good thing. Really all I'm doing, I'm putting this guy out there, and all these other sick people who got the same kind of demented things are following this guy now.
Yeah.
So whenever you think you're doing something good, you're actually not.
I got a question now. When it comes down to it, how did you know? Because you sent me the forum telling me he was from Canada. How did that information, him being from Canada, how did that leak, and how did you find that out?
Because the person that made him check in to the asylum is a person that knew them personally.
Okay.
And they were just writing us to let us know and stuff like that. That yes, he's from Canada because somebody else, I guess, was sending him something, and they used Wireshark to figure out like the location that he was around.
Yeah.
And they had figured out that he was in Canada.
So, how did you find out in 2019 that he was, in fact, people don't understand this. So, Vorsk was apparently admitted into a psych ward in 2019 and has not been heard from since. How did you find that information out?
Basically, that was the year that person put that out.
Oh, Vorsk.
And they said that he was checking into an asylum and stuff like that. And after 2019, we never heard anything else about him.
Okay.
Now, I mean, that doesn't mean he's not free. He could be under another name because that name got really popular. So, like, he could have just changed his identity.
Okay. Now I got a question here. When it comes to mixtapes, I'm not sure if you're aware, so let me go ahead and run down what a mixtape is. A mixtape is pretty much a compilation of footage, whether it be funny footage or, in our case, there is, Snuff R73, which is an 11-minute mixtape comprising of 21 clips of children getting hurt, aka child abuse. How aware were you of mixtapes back in the day, and were they a common occurrence of people making, videos of compilations of children being hurt and, gory things back in 2015, 2016?
Well, back then I wasn't really, I was kind of new to all that stuff. So, but I mean, there was like what y'all call now mixtapes. We just call them compilations, but they'd have like crazy music or whatever, and then it would just show like really messed up stuff. It showed gore, it showed stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually
like
essentially what it is.
Over and over.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what it is. That's it to a T. Yeah, so I guess you do know about mixtapes. Is there any of them that you saw? Like, have you ever heard of it's called MD Pope, most disturbed person on planet Earth?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't go looking for this stuff.
Okay.
I really don't.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. I understand. I mean, nobody wants to sit down and watch, an hour to 2 hour compilation of some of the most demented shit. So you also said that this group named 222 had flagged you to oblivion. What were they flagging?
Oh yeah. They were just false flagging, and that's how I was able to get the channel back. But there were so many. There was like thousands of flags on each video.
Okay.
And it's how they would do it. They would all say, okay, on this time, flag it for this and write this in the description of the flag. So it was all the same. And since it's all the same, YouTube's automated.
Yeah.
So whenever it's all the same, it automatically comes to terminating your channel. And then it's what they have to do, because at that time I had like 700 videos on my YouTube.
Yeah, I've noticed
so
that.
So it was down for a year. Yeah, and whenever I got it back, there was only like 300. So I don't know where the other 400 went, but they had to manually review each one for me to get my channel back.
Yeah, I've noticed that, now that I look back at your channel, it's pretty much a fucking ghost town to what it used to be. And it's like there's huge gaps and months. And it's like you got pretty much ransacked by this group, which, again, it's hard not to believe. To the people inside the comment section, it's hard not to believe it because, again, I was an avid watcher of this guy back in 2000 and I want to say 14, 15, and 16.
I went from, 300 million views down to 25 million?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of says it.
And I could probably look into Social Blade and see if it does compare, which, again, as someone who watched you and you were uploading very often, everything was just gone. I'm, like, looking through. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? It's like an entire year of videos missing. I'm like, yo, what's happening?
Because I used to make a video, like 1 or 2 videos a day.
Yeah.
I was, like, really involved with YouTube because the pay was really good. Because I was with Maker Studios back then, which is owned by Disney.
Okay,
so it was really weird.
I was about to ask you, when you say you were signed by Disney, do you mean like fucking Mickey Mouse and Goofy, like Disney?
Yep.
So, okay.
Maker Studios was owned by Disney.
Okay.
We used to have NCNs back in the day.
So you're, okay.
And,
you can't
Disney gave me a $10,000 check to start making content.
Okay.
So I did.
So you can't keep saying, okay, when you say Disney, it makes it sound like you went to Disneyland and they're watching, they're letting you make this type of content. It's more like, Disney is the father of a child company that signed you, if I'm getting that correct.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you were
Yeah,
technically on this Disney.
basically the MCN. But it was funny though, because the CEO of Disney called me
Okay.
whenever I exposed that one channel,
Oh,
and Keemstar did a review on it, and it got like millions of views.
okay.
That day, the owner of or the CEO of Disney called me to let me know that they had canceled the contract with that person,
Okay.
and if I could make a video just letting people know, because they were getting a lot of hate.
So who is the channel that apparently had Disney signed? Well, Maker Studios. Maker Studios had you signed. You exposed the channel that Maker Studios did have signed. What was that channel? And what was that channel uploading that you exposed?
You see, real quick, I gotta look back and see
Okay.
which one it was. There were so many channels that was coming after me.
Okay, and they were all under the
Quick, I put it
222
on.
branch, or?
They were all under 222.
Okay, so pretty much it was a member of 222 who happened to be signed by Maker Studios as well that you decided to expose.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess I
it
got
was one of his homies.
Okay.
So let's see.
So now I got a
It
question.
was that one that basically says another channel is making or is talking about me being mean.
Yeah.
Because they were like pedophilia should be legal and mutilation should be illegal, talking about circumcision.
Yeah. I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So
yeah,
now,
that's the one that we did. I went after, and Keemstar ended up picking up the story, and yeah, I got millions of views, and a lot of people were.
So now
I'm mad at Disney.
I got another question. Have you ever heard of the YNC or Ogrish?
Yeah.
Which one did you hear
Yeah,
about?
the YNC, Orgish, Gorgasm. Let's see, what else?
Best Gore?
There's one that's still, Best Gore is still on open. And
it's under a
I
different
know
branch
a
now.
few people said Vorsk was on there or something. Like some of his videos were on there, or they are on there or something.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, because
I went the other day just to check, because I had to use DuckDuckGo because the Google browser won't bring it up. But it says like Best Gore Fun or something.
Yeah.
And they said some of his stuff is on there, but like as soon as I looked, it says right at the top any kind of child abuse or anything like that will be removed. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because Best Gore got shut down, and then somebody took the name Best Gore and put it bestgore.fun and remade that. That happened around 2 to 3 years ago.
Yep.
So now here's my question: when it comes to the deep web, how often did you come across gore on the deep web?
Whenever I go on Amaya.fi, like you could just type in gore and it would be probably a good 100 pages of search results. Amaya.fi is like Google, but for the deep web.
Okay. Now, here's my thing right here. When it comes to gore on the deep web, how gruesome is the gore on the deep web compared to gore on the surface web? Is it the same thing, or is it more vile? What is it like?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, the only difference is that they don't have an age limit on theirs. On the deep web. As to where on like the surface web, like you got a lot of laws and stuff like that kind of make like a moderator or a website owner have to take stuff down.
Yeah. Theirs is more unhinged.
I mean, the only difference is literally the age.
So it's pretty much all of its gore. It just turns out that one, they will upload child gore, and it's more of Land of the Lawless over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I gotta ask you before we continue, and we're gonna change the topic off of Snuff R73. How did you get into the deep web? Like, what was your initial, like, how'd you get into this shit, man?
Like, honestly, I watched something online and was reading articles and stuff, and at the time I was on 4chan, and with the whole anonymous stuff and all that, they were talking about it. They told everybody how to use it. They told everybody how to download it. They told everybody, like what it did, what it was for. So I was like, why not? I'll try it out. And then like I had a buddy who was a lawyer, and I'm like, dude, nobody on YouTube is talking about this. I'm like, nobody's showing what's actually on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I made some videos, like, would I go to jail?
Yeah.
Like that was my first question. And he was like, no. He was like, as long as you're not actually participating in stuff, as long as you're not looking up any kid stuff, as long as you're not, doing anything illegal, you're fine. He's like, it's not illegal to go on tour. It's just illegal to, buy stuff from it, like illegal stuff from it or view illegal images. So I was like, all right, cool. So I, did a couple. And at first it didn't really gain any traction. But then one night, Matthew Santoro, who had like 3 million subscribers at the time, gave me a shout out. I woke up the next morning and my videos were only getting maybe like a few hundred views. I woke up the next day and I had uploaded it maybe like 4 hours before that. And I had, I think, like 25,000 views. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, I used to watch Matthew Santoro. Oh, yeah. I used to watch him a lot. So,
yeah.
Here's my.
Yeah, so I mean, that was cool.
Here's my question: when it comes to the deep web, and let's say the day you got started or the year, could you put a precise year that you started, and how old were you when you did start?
I don't even know how old I was. I think it was 2015 when I started doing the deep web.
Okay, so
I think my first deep web video was 2014, but like I said, I only did like 2 or 3 videos on it.
Okay.
And then I was doing like other videos and stuff, but then I got that shout out about the deep web, and I was like, oh man, there might be something here.
Okay.
So.
Now here's my question. I guess that's just about it. So everybody in chat, that's about it for Snuff R73 and things like that. Essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about a YouTuber known as Surviving Life. If you guys do not know about Surviving Life, I was made aware of him, I want to say 1 to 2 years ago. I had a couple people bring his name up. I did not ever do any, research or due diligence on Surviving Life. Essentially what I did was I put his name into the back of my head and never really looked into it. His name came up again as of recent. And when I started thinking about him, I decided to look into him, and TakeDownMan had told me about him as of last night. I did some research, and Surviving Life is a YouTuber who I can't make this up because I have seen exposed videos. One of them, TakeDownMan had made an exposed video about him. TakeDownMan alleged that Surviving Life was making accounts on illegal child material sites. Surviving Life then responded by saying no, he does not, and then 20 seconds later literally logs into an illegal child material site. And he doesn't do it with just one site.
He forgot to edit it.
Yeah.
He forgot to edit it. So I got a screenshot of the username, password, everything that he was logging in, and then I had video, and then I had one to where he's looking it up and he goes, okay guys, let's look this up. Oh, this is normal porn. We don't want that. He goes, oh, here's the hidden pedo wiki. He's like, yeah, that's what we want. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so essentially, it's just insane. You're telling me, again, I was watching your video on him last night, and he was like, that never happened. And then he literally starts logging into these websites, and it's like, dude, you're like, what? It actually had my mind blown that it was like, he denied your claims and then proves your claims within the same minute, and there's like a 180 contradiction, and it was almost like I thought I was getting pranked. I thought I was getting pranked. So essentially,
actually, Leland's Surviving Life did not turn off the images because we have proof of that, because he did not blur the images good enough on his editing, and that's what got his channel taken down. You can love that dude all you want, but the truth is the truth on
that. So here's what I'm gonna say.
And I'll tell you that now.
So now when it comes to people like Surviving Life, when did he start on YouTube, if you were to give an idea of when you kind of heard about him?
All right, so at first he did leather crafting. That's what he did. Apparently he was a fan of mine. And I guess he started doing deep web videos. And I guess he found that there was a lot of traction in that. So he changed it over from leather crafting to doing deep web. Whenever he started doing deep web, he started going to those websites because, I mean, a lot of people are going to watch you if you're talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
That's just people like the really sick stuff. Like they do. And that's kind of what killed the traction on mine, because I wouldn't go on that stuff. Okay. And this guy literally said that like he was doing good by going on these websites and telling people the websites and where they were, So he could expose the website so the website would get shut down. Really, all you're doing is giving people links
and traction
to legitimate CP sites.
Yeah.
Like legitimate ones. And he's making actual like accounts. And I put it up on Twitter. I tagged his local paper, his TV station, the police, Scotland Yard, like everybody. And next thing I know, like his wife catches him doing something. She gets the kids and is going to leave. He assaults her and the cops come. And he's gone for a year.
Okay.
Then he comes back and his channel was private for a little bit. And then he unprivated everything and started back up again. And there finally we got it to where he was not editing stuff good enough, and it was actually showing stuff to where we were able to be like, hey, YouTube, you know, and I actually went to like Team YouTube and I was showing them, and finally they took the channel down. At that point, he was at almost 100,000 subscribers.
Now I got two questions. When you said that Surviving Life was caught doing something and his wife walked in, do you want to go into detail? Like, what was he caught doing by his wife?
All right, and this is like, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but this is from different people that were his moderators that he talks to every day in private.
Okay.
All right, they all said that he was caught watching CP and was playing with himself. Now, whether he turns people in or not, it doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant now. Yeah.
The point is, he was watching it. Yeah, exactly. His computer was confiscated. And guess what? He never got it back. Do you know what he did? He asked his people to get him another computer. He wasn't online the whole time it was taken, until people got him another computer and another setup. He made a video about it. He was to the point where he was asking his viewers to buy his kids shoes. Like, that was all up online. Like, this dude was like crazy.
You know, it's funny.
And
I know
what's even more crazy is people were defending him for doing that. Everybody was like coming after me like I was the bad guy, for pointing out what he was doing and saying, you know, this is wrong. This is sick. Something's wrong with this.
I'm laughing because I'm actually going through a situation like that.
And they're still on here defending him.
I'm going through a situation just like that, where I'm exposing a guy who's doing incredibly bad things, and yet he's also e-begging, and then he's still getting defense. I'm going through a situation like that actually as of recent. So I can it's crazy. It's crazy shit, yeah. So now we went over when did he start? We went over what did he do. Now I gotta understand this. When you said he was showing stuff on the screen because it was poorly blurred, you're saying that he had illegal child material on the screen, but it was just so poorly blurred. Okay.
Videos, pictures, everything. And everybody, their one defense is always, oh, well, he blocked all the pictures. No, he didn't. No, he didn't, because there are plenty of people that have those videos still.
Okay.
They downloaded those videos. I won't do it. I ain't going to jail. But other people downloaded it.
Yeah.
You know? And he's got so many people, dude, that are on Discord against him. Like, this dude also, I mean, these are older people. These people all of age that have talked to me so far. There was one that was underage, and then she got bullied into oblivion. But he was making contracts with people, like BDSM contracts with these, like, women and, like, that one young girl. And he was, like, making them do, like, really weird stuff. Like, one girl, he had her make, like, a fake bar video. And then he gave it to another mod as a gift. He had another girl like showing her scars from her cutting herself in the past, talking how sexy she was, like all that. It's weird. He would tell one girl, the llama chick, whatever, he would tell her all the time that like she looked like she was 12 and she was so sexy. Like, it is crazy.
What?
It is crazy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he would ask her to dress up like a little girl and send him pictures. He was like, it's okay though, because you're old enough. No, it's not okay. You want her to dress up like a little kid and send you pictures. That's weird.
Ooh,
And then he had like all these contracts signed with these women. And he had all these contracts signed with all these women. Like, they had to ask permission before they slept with somebody else. They had to ask permission before they ate. They had to like write him and ask permission before they went to sleep, like all that stuff. His actual real name isn't Ron Swanson. That's a made up name. His real name is Rocco. I'm not going to say his last name out here, but
Yeah.
it's in Twitter.
Okay.
You can see it on my Twitter post because I've doxed all his information for the police and everybody else.
So now I gotta ask you this much.
That's right, Twinkie the Llama. Thank you, Twinkie the Llama. Yes, his mod. She has all this info. She even has his messages to his other mods because everybody turned in everything to her.
Okay.
She has messages to where he's sending his other mods to look up CP. He's telling them, go on, tell them how to use Tor, tell them how to search it and all that. And whenever they found CP links, to send them to him so he can make videos.
So now I got a question. Jesus, all right. Got a question right here. How did you get involved with this guy? When did this start? Who shot the first bullet? And, how did that start?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
You shot the first
bullet? I shot the first bullet because he asked to collab with me. And I'm like, who is this guy? So I started looking through his videos and I seen all that weird stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm not down with that. That's not okay.
Okay.
And I just told him. I told him in private. I'm like, dude, I'm not okay with this. So he started tweeting a bunch of shit. Like, talk about like, I'm jealous of him and his, him starting to get famous. At that time, he only had like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers. I'm like, what am I jealous of, dude? Then, so I made a video. I'm like, you know what? You want to call me out on Twitter? I'm just going to call you out on YouTube, where you want to be anyways. You want to collab? I'm going to give you your collab. So I gave him his collab. He didn't like it though.
Yeah. You want your shout out? I got a shout out for you. There you go. That's what's up.
Exactly.
That's what's up. Now how long?
So I gave it to him.
How long did y'all go back and forth, man? How long did you two go back and forth?
Shit, for like a year and a half.
Okay.
For like a year and a half, because like he would constantly come out with different things, and his fans were just like, they were relentless. Like they were just they would not stop. They would constantly come at me, to the point to where it was going like real life coming at me. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Enough's enough. So I put him on blast on Twitter with the cops, police, like TV. Like I was like, you know what? Everybody's gonna see it now. Ain't nobody gonna ignore this, because it was weird just how much he was getting away with it, and he starts saying things like, oh well, I let the police know every time I find one. I'm like, yeah, well, by that point you literally recorded everything that's on the website.
Yeah, so now that's possession at that point.
Exactly.
So now I got a question. When did you guys start getting at each other? When did you guys start getting at each other? Like what year?
2017, 2018.
Okay. So
went all the way till 2019, and then like 2020, 2021, they had a group called Survivors on Discord that went after him.
I did see that.
Because they were all his old mods, and they all were showing me stuff that was crazy, like different emails from him. Like he had like an actual, like somebody recorded one of the mod calls to where he was just like going off on all of them because they weren't finding enough CP. They weren't finding enough of the sites and videos for him, that they were all lacking. And one girl was like crying, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. This is really getting to me. And he's like, you need to suck it up. And you need to stop. You need to quit being, a little baby and blah, blah, like just degrading the shit out of her.
Yeah. So again.
And I mean, I have a couple videos on my channel, but they're all like, he was going in on different ones, different mods so hard, and like finding like ex-friends of theirs that would talk shit on them. And one girl was a teacher, and she was worried about losing her job. So like a lot of them were just like, hey, can you unlist that video, please? I mean, I may want it back up one day, but not right now, because my livelihood's at stake, my freedom's at stake. So I mean, there was just a lot of people, but I still have them.
So essentially, how many exposed videos would you say you made about him, and how many did he make about you?
He made what, 2, 3?
Okay. And how many
Like
did
honestly,
you
and I made like probably a good 10 or 15 because like it was pissing me off because like this dude just keeps showing CP.
Yeah.
He's showing CP and he's getting more popular and more people are going to these sites. Like literally, like I'm like, dude, what is going on? I'm like, this guy's getting like 40, 50,000 people going on these sites. He's getting only about 1,000 comments that are like, this is sick.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like, so after I was saying he was giving away the sites, he thought he's going to be slick. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to start, like blurring out the website at the top of the screen.
Yeah.
You still got the name on it, dude. You still got the name. It's still the name of the website. So, and he's already told people how to use the Tor search engines. So all they have to do is type in the name and the site will pop right up. But then he was like, for a minute, he goes, well, I don't actually go on the sites. I don't look at the sites. So I'm literally like watching his video and you can see where you hear the mouse click. You see on the video, the mouse clicked. It changes and then his face lights up. Like literally like the light from the website lit up his face. I'm like, so you're telling me you weren't on that site, huh?
Yeah.
Like there were so many things that gave away what he was doing.
Okay. So it was a small
like,
detail.
It was crazy.
Now here's the thing.
And I mean honestly, he sat right there in that one video, the one that I tagged the police in and stuff.
Yeah.
Like one of them, yeah, it showed that he had a username and password for that account, and he logged into it.
That is true. I did see him record himself doing exactly that. That is true.
Exactly. And then the next one that I showed, he was looking up legitimate CP and even said, oh no, that's adult. We want the CP one. And then it came on and he was like, oh yeah, the child wiki. Yeah, that's what we want. I'm like, it was so creepy the way he said it. It really was. I mean, it was. I mean, that one's actually in your Discord messages.
Jesus, yeah. Because I remember you sent me links to some of the fucking. I think one of them was the exposed video, and oh yeah, you sent me a Discord screenshot of him talking his shit and like being braggadocious about it. That is true, people. He actually sent me Discord screenshots of this guy bragging about what he is telling you guys, and he actually, I did look up and I found an exposed video about him where he is, in fact, talking about these things and admitting to it. So one more thing I will say. How did things?
There was other things too.
Go ahead.
But that is in Discord that people have sent, but I don't want to show it because that's like borderline like being able to actually see it. Okay. Like you could tell it's blurred a little bit, but you could tell exactly what they were.
Okay, so he's essentially
like
pretty.
It wasn't really blurred. It was just kind of blurred.
So he's.
And I'm like, no.
He's putting like a really shitty blur on it, and he's walking a very tight rope between prison and legal. So essentially,
exactly.
I gotta ask you this.
Ron. Surviving Life had a sex cult. Yes, he did. He had a sex cult, and he said he was a magical wizard or some shit, and like he would put curses on people. If not, he would have them draw like the Norse god signals on like their cutting scars. Like right after like they would cut, he would have them use like a magic marker and draw like certain like protection things on it and shit. And he would say that they had his blessing and all that. It was weird.
Now I gotta ask you, how did things?
Like honestly, Twinkie the llama is the one that could give you like everything because she has like terabytes of shit on it.
How did things end between you and Surviving Life? How did things come to a close?
The closure was once I got his channel taken down. Okay. Once I got his channel taken down, I was done. I mean, he come back as Darkbot.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he's got like 8,000 people, maybe 9,000 now. But I mean, yeah, he went after one girl on there. He went after me on there. He does some really weird shit on there. He uses an AI voice that's supposed to be his deceased daughter. And it's weird because whenever you watch it, it's like, you have all done my daddy wrong. You will see what me and my daddy Darkbot will do to you now. I'm like, what the hell?
Quick thing I wanna talk about. Right there, Melvolent.
The owner's like, dude, this is so fake.
Yeah.
You told the truth.
Yeah,
Dude, it's right there online. Go look it up.
I was about to say, I'm about to answer that right now. Beholder, you're saying that this is fake. It's not fake because what he is saying is shit that Surviving Life had. We're just discussing things that we saw on his YouTube channel, and by we saw, I'm talking about him admitting to signing in to illegal websites. He uploaded a video that is live on his YouTube channel of himself admitting to literally signing into child material sites on the deep web. This TakeDownMan is not lying. This video is literally live. As a matter of fact, I might just play the video, and again, it's just him admitting to it. This is no fucking lie. It's like, again, how can a lie be a recording of the man admitting to it? What are you talking about? Like, again, this is not lying. He's admitting it. He admitted it.
I love how people always say it. A lot of people say I lie about stuff, and it's like, dude, I actually have proof. I have proof of a lot of the shit I say. Like, you know, and then if I am wrong about something, I will actually put something in the comments. Like on a couple of the videos, people said it's, you know, that guinea pig movie or whatever. I didn't know that. I don't watch Cole.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I took somebody's word for it, and I put it in the comments. Hey, I found out that, you know, this is the guinea pig movie, and I pinned it. Just because, I mean, it's already up. But also in my disclaimers, I always tell everybody, believe, you know, half of what you see and none of what you hear. Do your own research. So if you don't believe something, go look it up. Do the research. Don't be lazy. Don't just say, oh, you're a fucking liar. Yeah. And that's actually what I like about you, because you actually do your research. And I noticed that. So it didn't really matter what you said about me prior, because I was like, well, the dude does his research.
I appreciate that. Okay, so, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, because I don't just like want to throw shit in the wind. I want to make sure what I'm saying is true. And I appreciate the fact that you didn't take it personal. Again, you know how I am. I'm an animated guy. I did say some shit, and I did talk some shit with it, because that's just who I am. I'm glad you didn't take it personal. It was some jabs in there.
Dude, I did the same thing whenever I watched that 60 Minutes interview. Okay. I jumped on about Peter Scully after watching the 60 Minutes interview and made the dumbest video ever. It was one of my most popular videos. But I was very emotional at that time that I forgot the dude's name. I was calling Ross Kelly for.
So one thing I was going to say, before I review.
So we're not talking about Peter Scully.
If I ever review Rocco, I would have to get a lot of research. And again, I would not be comfortable reviewing a guy who is literally admitted to signing in to child material sites and then stated, yeah, I do it all the time. Why would I, again, it's like, what am I going to do?
Just as a child, as a decoy, not to send private messages. Actually, that's not true, because Twinkie has actually posted the messages from Rocco to her that says what he likes. So once again, you don't know what you're talking about, because there's actual proof out there. There was a whole group. There was like, there was almost like 500 people on there that were going against him, and they were posting everything they had on there. So to say it's not true is really to like belittle the people that actually posted all this stuff.
So again, hold on. I want to go over this one comment. Nigel McGivers says he's manipulating you, Poppy. Let me make this very clear. We're only going over things right now that we've already went over in private, and that he has DM'd me proof of.
And I've actually showed him.
Yes, we're only going over things that he has sent me and DM'd me proof of. That's all we're going over. Anything that he has not sent me proof of, we're not going over. So anything that is being talked about right now is what we already talked about in private. He has sent me screenshots and or video recordings, and I'm just letting this information be public. This is all we're doing here. This is not me, you know.
I mean, you oughta play the two videos that I sent you. Just those two.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go over the videos. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna go over the videos a little bit later in the stream. But now we're gonna ask again. Now we're gonna go on to personal questions, because again, it's between personal questions and things we already went over. When it comes to illegal material, so guys, we're already finished with the Surviving Life. That was pretty much chapter 2 here. When it comes to illegal material on the deep web and things like that. When was the first time you ever heard about daisies? Because essentially, it was thought to be an urban legend for a very, very long time, and nobody actually believed it. When was the first time you actually caught wind of daisies? Like, if you were to give a year or a time.
Vinny G was the first time I ever heard about it, because Vinny G was actually a friend of his. That dude has a YouTube channel. He's from Australia. He was actually good friends. Like, this dude's like rich. So, like, I guess he was one of the investors that lost their money. So, before Scully moved and ran, but he had like hard drives and he wanted to send them to me. And I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want that. I don't want nothing that's illegal, because what's legal in one place isn't legal in another country. But secondly, I don't want to see it. So it was what I did. I looked up the name, and there was a 60-minute interview. And that was my first time really understanding who this guy was. And so I researched a little more, and then my wife had family in the Philippines, so I talked to them. They knew some of the people that I guess were related to the girls and stuff that he did stuff with. And there's a lot more than people talked about. There really was.
Yeah, because I remember watching the 60 Minutes thing, and they were talking about how Peter Scully did, in fact, murder one of the girls and buried her.
Yep.
Yeah, there was more than, essentially,
there's more. Supposedly there's a video of it, but nobody has it.
Yeah, that's another thing. So, again, now here's one thing. If there is a video of him killing this girl, this would actually be the world's first snuff film. And if people don't know what a snuff film is, a snuff film is thought to not exist, because it means that you are killing someone on camera, recording it, and you're specifically using that to sell the death of somebody, and that has never been done before. Now, Peter Scully, according to the 60-minute interview that you can watch yourself, has murdered a child, one that was inside the Daisy video, and that he had buried her under the floorboards, and it was thought that he had recorded it. And if he did record it and sell it, that would then constitute that as the world's first snuff film. Now, nobody has evidence of this footage existing, so it's all up to speculation, and that remains to be an urban legend. But again, Daisies itself was an urban legend for many years until people started uncovering it, and then it had a boom on 4chan where people were downloading it on 4chan. Crazy enough.
Yep.
Now, question, when you hear about things like Daisies, because when it comes to illegal child material, 99% of the time people talk about it's illicit pictures or illicit videos that are a minute long, 30 seconds long, and that Daisies was I hate to put it in these terms, but essentially a high production film. Something that was casted, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, somewhere around that. It's a long film, I guess. And how many times have you heard about some kind of child material?
It wasn't the first high production video.
Okay.
Because I had an interview with Masha Bobko at one point, and it got taken down. Like, I actually interviewed her as an adult, and they had a whole production team. She used to get paid and pay her friends and stuff like that to do stuff. And they would make high quality videos from from what she said.
Who's Masha Bobko? Say that again. Masha Bobko? Who is that?
Yeah, Masha Bobko. She was called the Serbian Mouse. She was like the most popular one in CP.
Okay, she was so she's like the queen of illegal material?
Yeah, she was like the most famous one.
What was she doing? Like, she was
somebody actually sent me her info, and I just wrote her, and she did the interview, and we had somebody translate it from Russian.
Okay, so
we had somebody translating back and forth while I was interviewing her.
So essentially,
but she was actually like the number one, like known one.
Okay. Like,
you could Google her name, and there's lots of interviews with her now.
How would you spell her name?
But she was called the Serbian Mouse. Mashababko.
Masa? Masah?
Masha.
Oh, Masha.
Yeah.
Bako. How do you spell Bako?
Yeah.
How do you spell
Babko.
Okay, Masha Bobko. Okay. and she's known as the Serbian Mouse. She was apparently into high production and took part of very high production illegal material inside of Russia.
She was like 11 or 12
when she started.
She was like 11 or 12 whenever it started. Yeah.
And she was not only taking part in these films, but she was actually recording it. Like, what was she doing? If you want to just read it.
No, it was like a friend of her family and like an adopted dad or something was doing that, and they would have, like, she said for some reason that, like, there was times whenever she would have like 15, 20 guys at the same time in a video. Like, there was, like, she said a lot of really illicit stuff to happen, and it was for her and all of her friends. And the thing people need to remember is she was a child whenever it happened, okay? But whenever this guy finally got caught, she took a lot of the blame from a lot of the parents, the police, and everybody, because it was her friends that she was, like, initiating, but they were telling her to do that. And a lot of, like, her and a lot of her friends were very poor. So these guys would give them money, like a lot of money. So they could buy things that they couldn't normally buy. They could bring food into the house. Like, they were being manipulated. They were the victims. They weren't the actual, this child wasn't a perpetrator. This child was the victim. Okay. And to this day, like, she still gets ridiculed where she lives. She's moved like 3 times. And everywhere she goes, they still ridicule her like she was at fault. And I think she was like 14 or 15 whenever the guy got busted. So she still wasn't an adult. So no, she wasn't culpable.
Now I got another question right here. We're going to get off this topic. We're going to move on. Let's talk about Master Chan. What the fuck is Master Chan?
Yeah.
What is that? Go ahead, explain it to everybody. What is Master Chan?
All right, so Master Chan had 2 different Master Chans. All right, there was one on the surface web and there's one on the deep web. The surface web, everybody says it's the same. It wasn't the same because they allowed a lot more on the deep web one than they did on the surface web. But Master Chan was a Chan, like 8chan. Like, if you ever looked at 8chan, like 4chan stuff would 404 after a certain amount of time. Master Chan wouldn't.
Okay.
So it would actually stay up like 8chan did, to where you could actually look stuff up. But Master Chan was kind of like, it was a free speech zone at first, to where, like, you could just talk about anything and nobody would be able to take it down and report you and stuff like that. But before you know it, anything that claims to be, 100% do what you want, unfortunately comes with very bad stuff too.
Yeah, it comes with the price.
So next thing you know, there was a section like young and stuff like that, and then abuse, and that's where the 222 ended up coming from.
Okay. So
now I know some of them say it started on Screen Bitch, but I don't think it did.
Okay.
I think it started on Master Chan.
So now that we're done kind of giving an idea of what Master Chan is, you brought up Scream Bitch. Now, what the fuck is Scream Bitch? What is that?
That was a site to where you could post rapes, murders, like everything. Like anything that was very degenerative, anything that was evil, you could post there. And the worse it was, the more people wanted it.
What I do remember, I believe I saw a video of yours some time ago, and everybody in chat, he is telling the truth on this because he was scrolling through, and there was like people on Screen Bitch talking about uploading animal hurt videos of people crushing animals.
Oh yeah. Yes, the crush videos and all that.
Again, when it comes down to it, how many other forums were like, okay, so say Master Chan is a land of the lawless. It does have horrible shit there, but then there's also decent discussions to be had there. Let's say Scream Bitch is just pure, utter evil, degeneracy, and just nothing else. Just pure evil. Okay. Now,
that's what it was for. That's literally what it was for.
Now, I gotta ask you, how many other websites were like Scream Bitch?
There was quite a few. There was quite a few.
Any coming to name? Any names that come to your mind, or just due to time? Because again, you did admit that you weren't, you're not on top of these you used to.
Well, I mean, people would send me like the screenshots. They would send me like certain links, and I would look it up on the amea.fi just to see, because it gives a description of what's on the websites.
Yes.
And if there was any CP, the mail won't advertise it. It'll literally say there's such and such on the site. We do not promote this and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, but that's the only thing that they don't show. They'll show everything else. Okay. And I mean, of course, like people posted, what was it? Before it got put on the gore site or whatever, that girl where they took the screwdriver to the eyeball and stuff, and the guy with the hammers and all that. That was where it first came from, and then they would post it on the core sites.
Okay, 2 questions now. Okay, so Scream Bitch did not have illegal child material. No illegal child material there.
I don't know, because I never went into it that much.
Okay.
I know it was allowed because it said it right at the top, which is why I wouldn't click and stuff.
Okay.
So now, I was like, I don't want to click. I don't want to actually go into the post themselves and see anything.
Here's my question. You just said something about
you have to walk a fine line with stuff like that.
Yeah. You just said a woman with the screwdriver in her eyeball and all that. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, the video started out to where there's like some guys talking, and then they walk around. It looked like like an old like decrepit playground. I can't remember where it was. But either way, there was a body laying there, and there's a girl. She was dead. And they started like stabbing her with a screwdriver and putting it through her eyeballs and pulling them out and stuff like that. It was like real nasty stuff.
Was it in the back of a dumpster?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what video you're talking about. Yes, I believe. Okay, I know what you're talking about. So what he's talking about is a video. I can't believe. Wow, dude, you just fucking dug deep in my brain. This was. I can't remember what mixtape it was, but it was about 2 to 3 guys. Yeah, they were. It was around a playground. It was on the concrete, I want to believe. So it was behind a dumpster. They found her corpse. I want to say it was wrapped in plastic, and they were poking her in the face with a screwdriver, and she was in fact already dead. Yes, I do remember that. That was in a mixtape I had witnessed some time ago. Yeah. So again, I was like, at first I was like, "What are you talking about?" Now I remember exactly what you're talking about.
And then it was 2 guys and 1 hammer or something where they beat that homeless man to death and stuff. And
yeah, 3 guys, 1 hammer. Yeah. So essentially, you're saying it pretty much had its own gore section, pretty much like the YNC and everything else.
Yeah. And Scream Bitch, yes, it was a hardcore site as well, but it had a lot of other stuff on there. It was anything degenerate really that was like messed up, anything you wouldn't normally want to see.
Okay, so someone's saying that it was actually
an elderly woman.
Yeah, it was.
She looked young.
I can't remember.
The one that was behind the dumpster.
All I can remember, I can remember it was behind it. I don't remember if she was elderly or young. It was just so many years ago. But if this person is like, telling us the intricate details that I can kind of remember, then I guess it was elderly. Now that was MD Pope 1. Okay, so now I gotta ask you, when you were doing the DeepWeb shit, was that what you were doing for a living at the time? Was that like, what made you stable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that, and then I worked at the psychic place, like selling like candles and crystals and shit like that for this lady.
Okay.
So
I gotta ask you, how much were you getting paid on YouTube during that time?
At that time in 2015, I was getting roughly like 15,000 a month.
Was that like based off of views, or was that views and a contract?
That was just the ad rev. Okay. It was before the whole adpocalypse shit.
Yeah, people make a quarter.
Like we used to get paid really well.
Yeah.
I was getting like $20 TPM. So it was, because I got that shout out. Yeah, I got that shout out. So I was getting $20 CPM.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Like that adpocalypse killed YouTube.
Yeah, because right now,
as far as the money,
I'm making like, I gotta be honest. I just started monetizing my videos because I was I'd never monetized my videos, and right now I'm at like $6 CPM. $6 CPM. You're making triple to what the fuck I was making. And if people don't know what CPM is, CPM is how much money you're making per 1,000 views. So essentially, TakeDownMan said that he's making $20 per 1,000 views. Now, remind you, YouTube was a very different place back in the day, where they were running 20 times the
ads. And
at
that time, I had over 200 million views at that point, and by the end of that year, I had 500 million. Yeah. So I mean, I was making really good.
Son of a bitch. Fuck, dude. Being a YouTuber around 2015, 2016 was definitely a time to be pocketing money, man.
Oh yeah.
Now.
And I used that to buy a house. I used that to open a business. Like that's why I'm not on YouTube anymore, because I'm busy with life.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time to do YouTube. People don't understand that. They think you can just make a video, edit it, and throw it up. Even the shit editing that I did at that time was taking me like 70 hours a week.
Yeah. Just I
Because I
know.
was uploading twice a day. So,
But then even at that, it's like nowadays again the how strong computers were. They were nowhere near as strong. They didn't run as fast, and you guys didn't have the same editing software. Nowadays, I can make a video, 50 times better edited than a video that was made 10 years ago, and I can do it in a quarter of the time because of my editing software and shit like that.
I mean, the quality of a live stream is better than the best editing software back in 2015. So, I mean,
I gotta ask you this question. We're gonna move on to a different topic. You remember Mudahar, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked? Actually, matter of fact, let me ask you this: how did you get into contact with Mudahar / Some Ordinary Gamers? How'd you get into contact with him?
He wrote me.
Okay.
He wrote me.
So
he just wanted to know about the DeepWeb and stuff, and we did a collab, and 8chan told him to take the video down, so he did.
Okay. So when you made that video with Mudahar, did he ever talk to you again after that, or he actually never talked to you?
He wrote me one other time just to say that which one? It was the little short film that we made, Confessions of a Serial Killer, Jacob, where I actually had like actors in it and stuff. Like nobody could remember lines, so I had to do a voiceover. But we had actual actors to do the video, and he was like, "Oh, dude, that's really cool." And then whenever I did the expose on the YouTube Kids, that one's on my deal. Talking about how like they were showing crush fetishes and scat fetishes in kids videos, and it was on YouTube Kids. He actually he commented on that. He goes, "Dude, what the fuck?" I was like, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "That's messed up." Beyond that, I never really talked to him.
So did he ever keep any updates on him or anything like that? Because as of right now, he's actually blown up and he's became a moral compass of YouTube. He's actually like one of the head honchos. He's kind of like the guy who keeps everybody in check. He makes sure that the YouTube community stays clean. He's actually taken a very high position inside the YouTube community, the YouTube sphere.
Well, I don't know. At that time, he was like at 500,000 subscribers. So.
Yeah, now
I just thought it was pretty cool. He wanted to work with me. So.
Now
I mean, he was a cool guy. I mean, and he was very understanding, because for some reason I was trying to record the thing he did. We did like a whole hour thing, and I tried to send him the file, and it was corrupted, so we had to redo the whole thing again. So
now I gotta ask you this: when was your last time on tour, the Onion Router? When was the last time you're on there?
What, about 2 years ago?
Okay, so
after the FBI took it over.
Okay, so the FBI took over tour?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was big news a couple of years back. Like literally, they did something to where now they have like something on like every exit note. So no matter what you do, they know exactly where you are.
Okay.
So a lot of people that are on it, they're being watched. I mean, I was never worried about it because I never went on nothing that was going to put me in jail. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who said I was, but I was like, dude, if I was really that worried about it, I wouldn't be like out doing my shit,
So now I got a question right here. When you go on tour, let's just say someone's on tour. This is for all the people who want to get into this type of stuff. And someone's on tour, they're browsing, they click on a link, and they end up getting exposed to illegal child material. What would you say would be the correct way to go about this? What would be the next steps? What would you say?
Well, first off, don't send it to a YouTuber because they may click it by accident.
That's
why I never click nothing.
Don't send it to fucking YouTuber. That's
Yeah, but also there's the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I mean, I understand that a lot of times they're so backlogged with stuff. I mean, you don't understand. There isn't like thousands of videos uploaded per minute. There are thousands of websites being made per minute, all over the world. So there's only so much they could do. But I mean, unfortunately, that is where you send it. If it's child stuff, I wouldn't say to call the cops on yourself, because unfortunately, a lot of people are like, oh, if you just click and you click out, you know, just let them know. No, because you could be prosecuted for that. But also, unless if you really know what you're doing, you shouldn't be on there anyways.
Okay.
Like I said, I did a lot of studying before I went on there. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're just trying to scare people. No, I'm not. Because, like, let's say, like, you don't go to, like, the man.fi, all right? Or you look up, like, the Hidden Wiki. The Hidden Wiki is run by people much like WikiLeaks is. So these people could put, like, this is a forum for whatever, put their Tor link on it, you click it, and guess what? Guess where you just went? And it could be somebody with nefarious purposes. They just think it's funny to troll people with that shit. And it's not, but they do.
So now here's my question.
Yeah, a lot of it is a honeypot. A lot of it's a honeypot.
Yeah.
Really.
And if people don't know what honeypots are, it's pretty much a setup by the FBI or any government agency specifically for you to click on it, and then when you start performing nefarious things or you start going into the content, essentially you're being tracked and you will in fact be arrested and prosecuted. It's more like a makeshift trap. It's like, again, kind of like a little bit of nuggets under a box, and then the FBI pulls the string because they're the ones who put the nuggets there for you to eat it. Now, I gotta say, when it comes to that type of content, moving on, since we're gonna stay on the topic of illegal content, what have you heard about Kik? K-I-K, Kik. What have you heard about that?
All right, so the Kik thing, the WhatsApp thing, like there's a lot of that stuff. And a lot of them are in regular groups, like on Facebook. Like they have people on there and they share their, like, you know, a Kik number. I've seen it on YouTube videos with kids. Like literally, whenever we used to like expose people, like literally, like people in my fans things would just, you know, they would type in like teen or whatever, and it would come up with like all these videos of people, and they were just talking, you know, but like there'd be grown ass men under it and women and stuff like that saying, hey, my, you know, my WhatsApp number is this. And we used to have something else back in the day too. And they would do it that way. They'd have Yahoo groups that did it. They had AOL groups that did it. It's so much out there. Yeah, Telegram too.
I was about to bring that up.
And yeah, that too. But I mean, see, a lot of people don't realize that with these honeypot things, a lot of places will offer a free download. And a lot of people were like, well, how was Ron getting away with it? He was getting away with it because he was using Bandicam to record. So he wasn't actually downloading it onto his computer at the time. He was recording it with a screen recorder.
Who was doing that?
So that's how he was doing it. Surviving Life.
Okay, Surviving Life. Okay.
Because he would literally go into like these Telegram groups and stuff like that. That's how he was finding like stuff too, because he was talking to legitimate people who were like child traffickers, like getting like the info, and they would send pictures and videos and stuff like that. So I mean, I've heard of all this stuff. I don't use any of it, but I mean, even Snapchat, like Snapchat had that leak years ago, and they had a whole ass thing on the DeepWeb to where if you were on Snapchat in those years, every picture that you ever took and sent was saved. So every time you sent a message, anytime you sent it, and there was a lot of underage people on that. And the feds actually got a lot of people because of that. Because it was all up there, and these dudes, like, I guess they were going and, I guess getting pictures of kids, Omegle, Chat Roulette, they do that. I mean, there's a lot of sites that people use. There's not just like one site. There was even that one deal on Twitter that Surviving Life was telling everybody the keywords to put in to find CP on Twitter. And he was like, well, if you find them, send them to me so I know where they are so I can let people know. And I'm like, dude, why? Why would you tell people that publicly? How many people do you really think is going to tell you? Like that they literally just watch that?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing, you're promoting it. That would be like me saying, yeah, this Kik phone number profile or however they use it is such and such, you know? Go over there and, you know, see what you can get on this guy. No, you don't do that.
So I gotta ask you this question: why did you stop when it comes to tour and all that shit and YouTube? What made you stop?
Uh, Started dating somebody that was really jealous. First off, that kind of killed the momentum. So that was one thing. The other thing was the whole 222 and 8chan just bothering me. Then surviving life. It was like once you get into that drama, it just keeps going, and it got to the point to where it was no fun. YouTube just wasn't fun anymore, and I'd already made my money because at that point when the Raw left, it was going way down. Like the money was like gone, and then my channel got terminated. I got it back. I tried to do a live stream, and I'm like, dude, I'm just not feeling this anymore. And then I tried to make a couple videos, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. I'm like, fuck it, I'm done.
So I gotta ask you here. I was looking through your channel, and you had a backup channel. It no longer exists. What happened with that second backup channel, man?
I actually have a few.
Shit.
There is one, but I bought somebody's. I wanted to troll her. She's called MFW. That's fucking wonderful. Okay. So I bought her trademark because she was just a real just low piece of shit. But I bought her trademark so I could actually own her name, and I put it on one of the channels just to do it. And now literally I took her link for her name on YouTube. So yeah. But then also I was looking at the money that was on YouTube whenever I got my channel back, and I'm like, dude, this is nowhere near what I was making.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I do odd shots, and in a day I can make $4,000. Like in a day, just delivering something. Now, why would I do YouTube videos that I'm going to pay a couple grand a month whenever I can make $4,000 in a day? Just hooking something up to my truck and taking it down the road.
It makes fair point. Yeah, fair point.
Yes, Leo, that was very petty, but it was funny too, because that bitch was mad as hell. I took her damn username.
Okay, so now I got a question right here.
Now, literally, there's a channel called Miss Wonderful on there that's got all my videos on it too. I did it literally just to troll her.
So here's the question: would you ever get back into DeepWeb content?
No, not anymore. I mean, that era is over. I mean, you would have to do so much, and even then, now it's to the point where like the feds really are watching people that's on. Like, if you say the wrong thing, and a lot of people could say I'm paranoid about this, but like, I mean, honestly. Like, just look at the thing. If you're a Democrat or Republican, that starts fights.
Yeah, that stuff.
Imagine if I went on the deep web. I used to go on the deep web literally just to speak my mind. Like, I used to like the fact that I could. I used to like the fact that I had a platform that people would listen. It was cool to have friends that you didn't know who the hell they were, but you guys had the same interest. Especially with like all like the suppressed science. Like, there was a dude that built a force field. And it was funny as shit because he built one out of magnets, and it was so strong he went in there and he fell down and shit his pants. I mean, it was shit like that was like funny to watch, but it was cool too because he actually built something. So I mean, there was another guy that built a whole house in a cave, like a whole underground system. It was things like that was really cool, but that stuff's not around anymore. So I mean, to me, what's really the point? I mean, what drug sites, CP sites, like. I don't really care about that stuff. Gore, I don't care about that. I was more like all the actual suppressed science. Like that stuff was really cool.
Now I gotta ask you, after all the shit you've been exposed to, how you doing up here in the noggin? You doing good? How's the psyche?
Oh, I'm good now. I'm good. Okay. I'm real good. The dude said the feds have so many more things to do. Okay, that's why people go to jail all the time. Okay. I don't know about, outside of the U.S. Like, I wouldn't look it up where I'm at right now because they're very strict on things. Like, where I'm at, like, free speech isn't a thing. So, like, you got to watch what you say. But at the same time, like, you never know tomorrow, man. The government could turn on you just that quick. And imagine that you do go on something bad. I mean, you can take that chance. I'm not taking that chance. I like my freedom for what, what little freedom I got in the world. I like it.
I got a question now. Follow-up question. Well, not follow-up question. I guess we're changing off topic. Now that enough of time has passed, because here's something that I do want to give a little bit of backstory, I guess, to cushion the blow. Back in the day, this was about 10 years ago, the amount of evidence and the amount of information that was available to people 10 years ago is not the same as it is today. Completely different. Now, as of today of 2024, do you still believe in the existence of red rooms? And if people don't know what a red room is, it's pretty much you go on the deep web, you pay an admission, you watch a live stream of watching someone being murdered and or mutilated, and you pay to have certain things done to them. Do you still believe in the existence of red rooms as of 2024?
Is it a possibility? It could be a possibility. Have I ever seen one? No.
Okay.
So, I mean, I couldn't say there is. I'm not going to say there's not 100% because people are weird. People are sick. I mean, you got people like Morse. You got people like him. Who knows what people do? But things like that, even, I mean, let's say it was a real thing. First off, it probably wouldn't be on the deep web. I mean, it is possible to have webcams on the deep web because literally there was different sites to where people could have web chats with each other on camera on the deep web, but it was very spotty and it wasn't very fast. It's kind of like a 90s website kind of deal. That would probably be more on the surface web. It would be something like on, Kick, WhatsApp, whatever. If people were really doing that. However, though, why would people pay that much whenever literally they can watch it for free on Facebook or something? Because people do that stuff. You got terrorist organizations doing it live.
That is
true.
You
got people that murder people live on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever.
That is true.
Like they have whole groups of people watching them. So why would somebody pay for that whenever they can literally watch it for free? I mean,
so now
I mean, as far as an actual red room, I don't know because I've never seen it. But I doubt people would pay that much, but you never know.
Now I got another question. I did watch your video on Green Ball, and you did say inside your video that it's 100% bullshit. You said no fucking way Green Ball exists.
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts
when you... Really because of the chemicals that they say was used. I looked up those chemicals, and there's no way it would do that to a body, but it's just kind of...
Can you tell me, like, when did you first hear about Green Ball? If people don't know about Green Ball, it's one of these, these secret Uber, dark web, child tapes in which children are being hurt.
Well, on, like, all right, so there was a site called Confessions. Not the Confessions of a Serial Killer, just Confessions. And it would be like, tell me your secrets or something, and people were like, yeah, I watched the Green Ball video, and blah, 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 and they had this, and they put a full description in. So... I would just look it up, and of course, most of this stuff was on like Spanish and Portuguese,
websites,
like little wiki site things.
Yeah,
to where like I would have to use Google Translate, and if you understand, Google Translate sucks now. It was even worse in 2015.
Yeah.
So you'd have to ad-lib a little bit to make it sound somewhat together. So.
Anything else like around Green Ball or Baby Burger and Daffodil Love? You ever heard of anything else along those lines, like these weird ass creepypasta child hurt tapes? You ever heard anything else like that, or no? That's pretty much where the list ends.
I mean, that's pretty much where the list ended for me. Okay. I mean, there may be stuff out there. I mean, there's stuff out there. I mean, you got a lot of hurtcore and stuff like that that people are into that I'm sure shows some pretty messed up stuff. So, I mean, you got people like watching kids channels with 25 million views just to watch them step on like cake.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got weird people out there. So I'm sure there's lots of weird stuff out there.
Now, this may be I'm gonna ask you two different questions. It'll be very personal questions. My first question is, when it comes to footage of gore, like the dying of a human or the disembowelment of the human, what is the most graphic thing you have seen when it comes to human gore?
Probably an African one. It was one out of Africa. They took a video from this tribe, and they had the guy tied down, they cut him open and they started eating him while he was alive.
How long would you say
That
this
was
video
one of
was?
the weirdest one. That was maybe like what, 2015, because there was a lot of weird stuff on there at that time.
How long? How long was the video?
Oh God, I skipped through it because it was like 2 hours long.
Wait, you said 2 hours long?
Yeah.
Wait, how were they eating him? Like they were eating his entrails? Were they eating his muscle, like filleting him, or?
They weren't cooking him. They were just cutting him open and eating different things, and they ate his heart. Like they bit in, like it was raw. Like they were eating him. Somebody was eating on his leg. Like yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am subject to kind of lean towards more that I do believe that you did see something like that, because as of recent, we have seen Mexican cartels fillet people, and if people don't know what filleting is, filleting somebody is cutting open your chest.
I've seen one where they cut his hands and feet off, and peeled his skull or peeled the thing off.
And I saw one when the guy.
Like I said, though, I always have to fast forward through it. Though I can't just watch it from start to finish. I can't hear the screams, and like I've got it muted, and I'm literally just like clicking through trying to see what the hell it is.
Yeah, there was one where a guy pulled out a piece of his lung and ate it.
Cartel.
Yeah, yeah, that's essentially it. Don't fuck with the cartel, because I saw one where a guy pulled out a piece of his lung and ate it. He fucking ate his lung, and it was insane shit.
Yeah.
So that's essentially the worst human gore video, is pretty much, I guess, an African tribal cannibalism. Now, when it comes to animal videos, what was the worst you've ever exposed to when it comes to an animal video? If you do want to go ahead and go into detail about that.
The one on YouTube that I called the cops on live stream.
Okay.
Because somebody was like, hey, dude, check this YouTube video out. And I'm on a live stream.
Okay.
So I've got this live stream going, and I have to shut the live stream. Because literally, like, I'm watching this video, and there's a dog hanging on a rope. And this guy walks up and just starts having sex with it while it's dying, while it's hanging from a rope, from a tree. And I had to call the cops. Because it literally, like, it showed him going through, like, some park in Washington. And we found out where the park was, and we called the local police, and the police actually went after him. But yeah.
Jesus Lord.
That was the worst one that I've seen. Because I can't watch an animal, Garrett, and that's like, I'd rather watch a grown person get messed up than an animal. I'm sorry. Animals are innocent. They're pure. You know their intentions. You know a lion's gonna fucking kill you. You know, so don't touch it. Don't touch a bear. It's gonna kill you. You know, and you understand that. With people, they can be just as nice as can be, and then they kill you after they give you a hug. So
yeah. So now after that, what was, let's just say, the worst thing that you've ever been exposed to in your whole life when it comes to the surface web, the deep web? What was the one worst thing you've ever been exposed to, and whether or not you got the police involved, obviously?
There was a Facebook live stream to where the dude, it was somebody I knew. He was talking about his wife cheating and stuff, and he opened up a closet and he started stabbing her. So, like, I knew them, like, in person. I knew them.
Okay.
So, like, that was why it was the worst thing I've seen, as far as, like, because it was somebody I knew. So it was a little different than just watching an actual video. I thought he was just going to talk about how she was cheating and stuff like that, you know. Dog her out a little bit, but I didn't know he was going to do that. As far as, like, what's on websites, though, oh man, there's so much messed up stuff. I really can't. I don't know the worst one, because there was some pretty bad stuff.
Now I gotta ask, is it cool if you take some questions from the audience? I'll pick them myself.
Yeah, I don't care. That's fine.
Alright. Yo, everybody in the audience, thank you for deleting anybody that is trolling, ban anybody that is trolling, obviously. Anybody from the audience right now, go ahead and just start piping up some of these questions. I'm seeing people talking about Manhunt 3. I doubt that. But anyway, that is not important.
He's got the receipt, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll show them a little bit.
So anybody who has any questions, go ahead and ask them. We'll be talking about that. I'm waiting for any
Yeah,
questions.
because we're not saying Forrest invented R73. We're just saying there's a possibility because he was around in 2014,
15 as
and
well.
the Forrest stuff R73 didn't come out till 2015. So I mean,
somebody asked, TakeDownMan, what about the paranormal on the deep web? That's what somebody keeps on asking. What about the paranormal on the deep web?
there's a lot of stuff on there. If you go to like the Hack Canada website, they actually have, and that was a government website that people hacked and exposed everything in Canada. They have a lot of stuff about paranormal. They also have a lot of stuff about UFOs on there. So I mean, there is actually a lot of there's a lot of forums on it. There's a lot of people who talk about different paranormal experiences. There's supposedly a guy on there that knows how to build something like a Stargate or whatever. So I mean, it's some cool stuff on there. I mean, it gets your mind going.
Somebody asked, what is the strangest website you've ever been when it comes to the deep web? What's the strangest one?
Oh, the strangest one would be a site to where basically people, they would put their fetishes up, like to where like they would have like nailing fetishes. They would have fetishes to where like they would cut their wang off. Like they feel like a body part didn't belong, and they would record like the what was it, like I guess the progression or whatever that they were doing.
Yeah.
They record videos, pictures, stuff like that, and show the progression of different things. They were like making dye on their body, cutting off circulation because they felt like they weren't supposed to have that body part. Like that was really weird.
Funny you say that. I actually have two comments to say about that. I saw a video where a guy recorded himself. It's an MD Pope 1, most person on planet Earth 1, where he ended up putting rubber bands around his testicles, and over a week he let them turn green and then proceeded to cut them off. And I saw another thing, I believe it was on Steve Wilkos, where a guy cut off his own legs at home with a hacksaw or a chainsaw because he felt like he did not want his legs, or his legs did not belong. So I think exactly what you just said has a lot of validity to it, because I've seen shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucked up, dude. It's real fucked up.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's weird. And then I remember that, what was it, the dog food girl or something? She shoved all the dog food inside of herself and had maggots and all that in her deal. And she was updating daily, like, what happened, and then eventually she had to go to the hospital because she got toxic shock.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Any more questions from anybody? Any confirmation of those Oregon black market sites being real on the dark web?
All right, so you got Oregon black market sites on the deep web. You got that on the surface web. I mean, that's already been proven. Like Vice has proven it. What's that? That National Geographic thing they do. They have that. And is what it is. Some people just steal them. Some people kidnap people and steal them. Other people, they're like homeless people, and they're offered like, $5,000 for a liver. They'll tell them, oh, it grows back or whatever. And these people believe it. So they do it. I mean, that's not just a deep web thing. That's an everywhere web thing.
Is Baby in the Box a real video? I've never heard about that. Do you have any idea what this person's saying? Baby in the Box?
I have no idea about that one.
Yeah, I've never heard about that. Somebody asked, did you ever go to therapy for how traumatic the deep web could be?
No.
Never went to therapy.
I've seen enough stuff in real life. That just, I don't know.
So, like to us, it's just a victim of statistics. To them, okay. What stuff do they sell on the black market, and how does it even work? That's what someone's asking right now.
All right. So with the black market, you can buy anything on the black market. I mean, that's the point of the black market. Some things are legal, some things are illegal, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. You got people like selling like iPhones that were like stolen. You got people selling the graphene OS phones to keep your anonymity. You got people selling drugs. You got people selling guns. Some of the things, yes, people are dumb enough to give out their address. Other times is what they do. They meet up and they exchange. Or they'll say, all right, well, you leave the money at this location. They'll send like the GPS coordinates under, this rock, this piece of wood or whatever. They'll leave money under there, and then that person will put the other thing there. And they never meet like face to face, but they see each other, but they never meet. I mean, whenever, what's that, the Dream Market, I think it was, whenever that went down, a lot of people died because that was a black market site. And is what they did. They took off with everybody's money. So they did their own escrow. And I think it was like a little over $4.5 million they stole. And there was a lot of people who got the drugs fronted to them from like the cartel, and they couldn't pay the cartel back.
Okay. So now we're going to look through
the girl in white. No.
A couple of more questions. Were you there for the Silk Road days, which people don't know who Silk Road is or what Silk Road is? Pretty much a big deep web website of like a bunch of like a drug conglomerate. That's what it pretty much is.
Yeah, that and they actually had hitmen on there. So I mean, that was one thing they talked about. That's actually how the guy got caught, because he was he was trying to do the hitman stuff.
All right, so here's my question. Do you actually believe that the people on the deep web were real hitmen, or do you believe it was honeypot or just bullshit people trying to scam you out your money?
There was a lot of bullshit people. There was a couple real ones on there, but not many. More of the websites that actually had like advertised hitmen were bullshit.
Okay.
The ones that weren't bullshit was like, if like you were on the drug markets, like the legit drug markets, they actually did have hitmen on there, but a lot of those hitmen were from the cartels and drug dealers and stuff like that were already well known. They were already established. Like but the money was so high on it, I don't think they were used very often, if at all, because these people are charging like 20, 30 grand.
Okay. Now, are you aware of a YouTuber called Mama Max?
What does that name sound familiar?
He is a YouTuber that just got exposed for like faking, taking down predators for years. He was pretty much making it seem like he was taking down predators, and pretty much it was what it's called LARPing, a live action role playing, and he was playing the role of a guy who was taking down predators.
I remember that on Role Models LARPing.
Yeah.
With the fake sword and stuff, yeah.
So essentially he was LARPing as a predator hunter, and then he went on to say that he didn't say it, but he heavily insinuated that he gets these predators taken care of, with hitmen. What do you think the validity behind a comment like that is? That a guy's a big YouTuber. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? It's fucking, yeah.
I was looking at life in prison. At one point. Okay, for that thing specifically. I got locked up in Nassau County Jail, and then I got released on a plea bargain because my lawyer was basically telling him there's no way that anybody's going to do anything to him, because this guy, like, I caught him in the act of doing something to a kid. I was working for a carnival. I come around the trailer, and they thought everybody was gone, and the guy had a little kid going down on him, and I took a blade and took care of him.
You took a blade?
And, yeah.
Okay, by blade, you mean like a small knife?
I figured.
Like...
It looked like a Rambo knife, like the one with the compass on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and there's proof of that, too, on my Twitter, because I put my damn background check up. Because a lot of people said I didn't. They were like, "Oh, you're so full of it," blah blah blah. Well, there's a murder charge, assault 1, 2, and 3 on there, and all that. I mean, I probably could have handled it differently. I probably could have called the cops, but at that time, I was young and I kind of lost it.
How old were you when this situation happened?
20, 21.
You mean New York?
Nassau County Jail, New York.
New York.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay. Because I know Nassau, and then there's Suffolk inside of New
Yeah.
York.
Yep.
So here's a big thing.
Long Island.
Yeah.
I was working a carnival, is what it was. We went up there, and there was a Ricky Martin concert. So we were doing the carnival outside of the Nassau Coliseum in that parking lot.
Ricky Martin.
And there was yep. We were doing a carnival out there, and we went to a bar, and I was coming back from the bar, and I seen coming around the trailer, I seen the guy doing that, and I seen the little kid. I looked at the kid. I literally just did like the sign, put the finger over the lip, like don't say nothing, and I pulled out the knife and stuck the dude.
Where'd you stab him? In the back, the stomach?
In the side and in the legs. Is what it was. I ended up hitting an artery in his legs and he bled out.
Did he die?
Let me tell you something. Yeah, he died.
Okay, so
I mean, I hit him with that blade so fast. There was no blood on that blade, dude. It was like a slime feeling because I was trying to hide the knife because I was trying to run. So, and I realized what I did after I did it, and I was like, oh shit.
Okay, so
and like I ran into the bar, and they called somebody called the cops, and the cops literally like somebody see me running across the road, and I shouldn't have went to the bar because I went through the bar and tried to go out the back, and there was no way out the back. There was like this big ass brick wall, and whenever I tried to go back through, security's like, no man, you gotta stay here. You gotta stay here. I'm shit. So I run to the bathroom. I'm trying to put this blade like in a nasty ass New York toilet, man. I put my hand like trying to put the blade up the damn toilet and it wouldn't go up there. I threw it in the back of the toilet, and of course they found it. But then they were like, I was talking like, that's not my knife. My knife had a dragon on the handle.
Okay, so when you
but I mean, they figured out it was me.
Okay, so then you got arrested on charges of murder. Now, what were you charged with? Just murder?
At first, it was assault 1, 2, and 3. Then the guy died later. Okay. So by the next morning, they charged me with murder.
Okay. What kind?
And then of course, I got a hate crime thrown on top of it because the dude was gay, and I didn't know that. I didn't really know him like that. Okay. But they threw a hate crime on me called the Matthew Shepard law or some shit. So yeah.
What happened? How did that go down in court?
Well, the inmates there ended up telling me that there was this thing called a felony exam. If you ask for a felony exam, they have 3 days to prove without a shadow of a doubt you did it, or they have to let you out on bond. I had already been there about a month, and I was like, dude, whatever, I'm going to do it. But they're like, be careful, because if they can prove without a shadow of a doubt it's you lose any chance of a plea bargain, anything. So I was like, well, whatever. I didn't talk to the cops, and I'm like, I don't know what they know. And the only thing people ever see is me running. And luckily, New York's toilets are so damn weird. I guess they couldn't find any DNA on it. They couldn't find my fingerprints on it. And so we did the felony exam. 3 days later, I go to court, and I'm literally waiting for them to say that I got bond, that I'm ROR'd or something, or that they found whatever. But I'm like, if I got bond, I'm out. I'm running, I'm not going to prison the rest of my life. They come in, they said, look, we don't have any witnesses. We don't have anything. We can't find any DNA. We can't find any fingerprints on this knife. They were like, so is what we're going to do. We're going to drop it down to like some kind of misdemeanor assault and disturbing the peace. You have to pay a $110 emergency service fee and a $10 some kind of fee. And you'll be out today. So I signed it. I took the plea bargain. I was out, and I left that day. I left New York that day. Right, I took a train with the Grand Central Station and was gone.
So now, here's my question. Can you send me proof of all of this? Because you can understand. I got to be honest. I got to be 100% honest. I'm not buying it. I got to be honest. I'm not buying it. This is insane. You're telling me that you stabbed a man. You killed him. All right. And that, you
And I was out in 30 days. 30 days.
I gotta be honest, y'all.
I don't feel bad about it.
You got it. I'm not saying you should feel bad about it. I mean, you're alleging that he fucking went after kids. I mean, if what you're saying is true, I mean, again, I think you did a service. The guy was going after a kid. But you see why this is hard for a person like me.
No, I feel you.
You can send me some
No,
proof. Send me any. If you could send me proof.
I'm scrolling down right now. I'm scrolling down Twitter right now to find it.
All right, because if you can send me proof of this.
Oh yeah.
Again, I'll be more than happy to be like, yo, you ain't fucking capping. Cause again, just any.
No, I'm scrolling down right now.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be easy enough. As soon as I get it, I'll send it to you while we're on the live stream.
All right.
So yeah.
How much longer is this stream? Probably a few more minutes. Again, guys, if he has proof and if he has the citations, you can't. Here's the big thing: if he has citations for it, you can't say it's a lie. If there are citations, now he has not shown citations.
You live in New York too, so you'll have the case number, so you can look it up.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I could easily do that. I do have a Spokio.
It's on. Like that. Yeah, I know it's not online because they said it's on microfiche or something because it happened so long ago.
It's on.
But yeah.
I'll definitely look into this because now you got me interested. What would it be on necessarily?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. New York's so far behind. They said it's on microfiche, so like you'll have to actually go there, I guess, and get a printout or whatever. But
okay.
Let's see. That one's threatening with a firearm in Oklahoma.
People, he wouldn't be telling on himself because this is what's known as double jeopardy. And if he already signed a plea bargain, he can't be charged with something he already signed a plea bargain on. They
can't charge me for it.
Yeah,
I've already done a conviction and took a plea bargain. So
if this is again, if he's being 100% honest, again, he's already took the conviction and he already did his time and did his punishment. So therefore, he can't go to prison for anything like that. I'm getting sent something.
Hold on, there's one. Here's another one.
All right, everybody, I'm start looking at the evidence.
It should be 3 different ones. It should be like 3 different pages or whatever.
Attempted.
I mean, I'm not saying I got the squeakiest background.
Yeah, that's fine. Severity felony.
Yeah, that's what I ended up taking the pleas for.
That's the first one. Okay, so there is in fact an assault that did go down. That much I am looking at right now, people.
Assault 3.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I had to pled him down. But yeah, New York. Assault 2. Degree intent to cause physical injury with weapon. Another one, assault 3 with intent to cause. So I mean, yeah, that's what I pled to.
Okay, that's what you pled to for the bargain.
Yep.
Boy.
So like I said, that's the case number on it. You're more than welcome to go look it up. You got it right there, court case number.
Alright. So right here, I will look up. So we're looking at the 2000 June 30th is the one that you're talking about. The misdemeanor right here.
Yeah.
Convicted upon plea of guilty. Yes. Okay. So right now there is a root of truth here. Which one? June 30th, and we got felony, and I can see that the felony did turn into.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, the felony
got dropped to a misdemeanor as well.
Yep, that is true.
It was like 2 or 3 misdemeanors.
Right.
Assaults.
He's not.
What it got dropped down to.
He's not lying.
They just no. They wanted their conviction. So that's all it was, and I wanted freedom. So
yeah, no, I hear you.
So there's that. Yeah, Nassau County Jail ain't like a regular jail. Let me tell you, them dudes are big. Shit. I was in good shape back then. I was like built, and these guys made me look tiny. I'm 6'1", and they were like towering over me. They had arms like as big as my legs, dude. These were like some big dudes. Like they were huge. I was kind of shocked.
He got vids.
Beholder, it's called a plea bargain, dude.
Yeah. So he did get a plea bargain. Okay, so
you understand.
From what I'm seeing, he did just send me some paperwork, and from the paperwork, what I've been able to gather, that in fact he was charged with felony assault and felony stuff with a weapon. And from the papers, it does show that 21 days later, like he stated, he was in jail for a month. It does show that it did get dropped down to misdemeanor charges. Now again, he did forward me the case number, and it did happen 24 years ago, like he claimed. So again, there is right now 80% of this is true. The 20% that I'm not riding home on is the fact that this motherfucker's dead. You know, because you casually say it. You casually are like, yeah, I killed that motherfucker. You can see why I'm just not like, you know.
I don't care. I don't feel bad about it.
I'm not saying you do, but you just drop it. You can't just go around being like, yo, I killed the motherfucker, and have somebody be like, yeah, no, that's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see how that looks, right?
Dude, I grew up around Sons of Samoa, dude. I mean, that wasn't the first time I seen somebody fucking down.
Okay. So I'll definitely do some research. I definitely gotta look into this. Now you got me. Like, I gotta look into it. You know what I'm saying? And if it's true, yeah, I'll give it.
Y or Z, you only seen one fight. There's more than one fight online. I mean, I got knocked out twice. I mean, if you want to talk about it in a cage, but I'm gonna tell you what, there's a difference between a cage and a regular dude on the street.
I got a question for you. How many MMA fights did you participate in? How many MMA fights did you participate in? If you were to give a rough estimate.
A rough estimate? Like professional fights?
Professional.
Like 5.
Okay, so 5 professional fights. How many
amateur fights? Amateur fights, it was like 10.
Okay, so about 15 fights.
And the problem is I actually thought, like, one of the fights I did was exhibition is what I thought. And then they put it on the pro record, and once you go pro, you can't go back to amateur. That
is true.
So that kind of sucked. Okay. So that kind of sucked. I thought I was actually doing an exhibition. And that was in, Grants, New Mexico. So.
What would you say your overall record is? If you had the, say, amateur plus professional, full 15 fights, what's this record looking like? You Chuck Liddell or what?
Nah, man, it's more like, I had like 5 wins. I had 2 losses and a few draws.
Okay.
So
5 wins, 2 losses, and a few draws. That's including how many? Like, let's just include amateurs. So you had 5 professionals, 10 amateurs. That's 15 fights in total.
Yeah, 2 of the amateurs was wins, 2 was losses, and one of them was it was literally just a draw.
Okay, so that's the 5. Okay, that's 5. Okay. So with that being said.
Yeah, because literally I lost to Fabio Costa.
Okay.
Who was from Brazil. Rex Richards, who was also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The 2 people I lost to was black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
So. I mean, literally, both of those fights are on YouTube. So everybody keeps trying to say, oh, you only has 1 fight. No, I don't actually. I have 2 in there.
Yes, dude.
This shit was a long time ago.
Yes, dude.
So I mean, shit. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say I got fucked up. I mean, whatever. I got in there.
Yeah, shit happens. Again, that's why I said even when I called you out for it, I believe I still gave you credit, being like, yo, you know, it still takes balls to step into a cage because I was into amateur boxing, I was in kickboxing, I trained in this shit my whole life, and to put a mouthpiece in your mouth, to glove up and go and willingly step into a cage and say, I'm gonna get punched in my face.
And the main event on both fights.
Okay, it does take some fucking
I literally was the main event, and I only had like a week's notice on both of them to go.
Here's my question.
I didn't have any time to train, nothing.
Here's my question on that. You said you were in a title fight. I theorized that you were put into a title fight based off of injury and that you were a replacement. Is that true?
Yeah, actually Patrick Berry, I mean, he's a good dude. He's a real good dude. His girlfriend got murdered like a week before the fight. So I got put into the fight, and I was literally coming off of an injury. So that was the bad part. I wasn't even really ready, but I needed the money.
When you say Patrick Berry, do you mean
$15,000?
Do you mean Pat Berry, as in the former UFC fighter, or is this a different Pat Berry?
Yeah. No. He was he wasn't in UFC at the time.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Pat Berry,
kickboxer,
who's currently with Rose Namajunas.
I don't know who he's with now.
Is he a short, stocky, brown guy?
Yeah, he was short.
Okay, that. Hold on. If I send
I can't remember if he was Spanish or not. Hold on. Real quick.
Because you said Pat Berry. I think we're talking about the same, like the Pat Berry, kickboxer, went to the UFC.
MMA?
Yeah. Hold on, this
Patrick
guy.
Joseph Berry?
This guy, I'm about to send it to you right now.
And the dude had quads. He's short, but like he had big ass quads. I remember that because he did actually come out. He came out to the yeah, that's him.
Okay, so you're talking about Pat Barry. You were on the same card as Pat Barry. Pat Barry had his girlfriend murdered.
Yep, his girlfriend got murdered, and I mean, he still came up there though. He still came up to show love, but instead of him, ended up having to go against Fabio Costa, and that was for the UKC title fight, the Ultimate Combat Championship, spelled with a K.
Okay,
I think they were trying to rip off the UFC, but.
It looks like I gotta go talk to Pat Barry now. I gotta figure this out. Yo, did your girl get murdered, yo? That's some crazy shit. Hold on.
I don't know if I'd ask him like that. If you see the size of that dude's quads, man, you'd be a little
man, but he's still short. He's a short guy, man. I got this. Trust me, I got this.
Yeah, no, I mean, whenever I actually seen him in person, I was like, in the pictures, he didn't really look like he was like, like that, like then I seen the size of his quads. I was like, dude, man, this dude's legs, like one of his legs make two of mine. I'm like, what the hell?
All right.
I got Bill legs.
Now I got a question because now we're gonna get into something that keeps getting brought up. I would prefer an answer. Prefer some honesty here. I think this conversation's been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what I'm gonna ask.
Which one?
Heinz.
There's a lot of stuff.
There's gonna be Heinz. Heinz catsup. What's up with that? What happened with the ketchup? I heard something about a ketchup situation. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, man, and I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh my god, dude. Hey. No, man, there was alright, so I was in a cult. For people who don't know. I was in a cult.
Okay.
And is what it was, a person in the cult touched another guy's kid. Alright. The dude went ham on him, beat the living fuck out of him, like tore up everything in the house. I mean, he beat him good. Like, he beat him really good. And I took a video just kind of showing the walls and stuff like that. And there was like a blood spot on the wall. There was brown, all right? And yes, there was a bottle of iron ketchup on the floor because whenever the dude whipped into him, this guy had like a little mini fridge in his room. So whenever he's beating on him, the whole fridge fell out. There was also a bottle of pickles on the floor. There was like food on the floor. There was all kinds of shit on the floor. But they automatically said, oh, that's it's fake because he did this and that.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, it wasn't fake. Zero really beat the shit out the dude because the dude touched his daughter. And then the guy went to jail.
So
like that's literally what happened. I didn't do it. I just took a video of it. And then YouTube took it down for violence.
Okay. Now I gotta ask you this much: do you still happen to have possession of that video?
No, because I put it up at the time, man. Like that's an old like cell phone video, like them old ass videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from 2013, 2012.
Now I got a question.
I've had this channel since 2007.
I got another question here. Following up on the same situation. Is there any way you can give me a name so I can look into the idea that maybe there's some sort of court documents here, or do you have any receipts to prove that that's what happened? Because otherwise, again, I'm just gonna put it up to speculation because I would say that this side is saying something. This is just gonna name drop him like
that's
that.
That's what I know.
Yeah, he's gonna name drop him. Okay. How do you spell it? T-O-T.
Why not?
T-O-N-Y-H-A-L-L. H-A-L-L. Tony Hall. What state?
Yep.
What state?
It happened in Nassau County, New York.
Okay. Is there?
It legitimately happened. It happened at the convention center, the Nassau Coliseum, whatever.
Okay.
It happened right there, like right. They arrested me in the bar that's across the street.
Okay.
Or actually, the cop said I wasn't under arrest. I was free to leave, but he sure as fuck wouldn't let me leave. He took my ass down to the police department and made me talk to a detective, and then I went to jail.
How long did you spend in jail?
Not even 30 days. like I said, I was I was literally like preparing to be there. You know what I mean? And then people told me about that thing called a felony exam. And after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try it because I want it out.
Okay.
I figured the worst they could do is what they were already gonna do. You know, just keep me there. I mean, you're already there. Why not do what you can?
So okay, so the
Because
guy
I figured,
okay, so the guy who
mm,
got beaten up inside the house and you recorded him, the guy who got beaten up, right? His name is Tony Hall.
oh, him.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no. I thought you talked about New York.
Okay, okay. No, I
Um,
want the guy who got beaten up inside that house. If did he go to jail? Was he
yeah,
ever
that
arrested?
was in the Berean cult. Yeah, he did go to jail. All I know about his name was Dwayne
Okay.
because I was kind of new there.
Okay.
I had literally just we had just been there maybe like a week and a half
Okay.
because we came from another. That cult was pretty big, so like they're in multiple states. Um,
What was
I
this
guess
cult
anybody
about?
who understands what the FLDS is, they would understand what that was.
Uh,
Um,
what was this cult? Like, what was this
so
cult
yeah,
about?
it was fun. It was an offshoot of the fundamentalist Latter Day Saints. It was a polygamy cult. At one time, I had two wives and stuff like that. So
That's actually true. I did a lot
like
of
I literally
background.
was on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did some research on you. That
yeah, and
is true.
yep, I left the cult and then ended up leaving them. Like we just all kind of agreed that like it wasn't like we all got married because of religious reasons, kind of deal.
Okay.
And then once I became an atheist, I was just like, hey, like I'm not trying to live this life anymore. I'm not trying to do this. It's too much pressure on me. It's too much stress. So I just told him, I told him what it was, and um, the mother of my son that I have custody of, she was like, well, I don't want to be a single parent again. So she signed custody over to me, and that was that. And with my wife that I'm with now, and yeah, just living life.
All right, how long are you still atheist as of today?
Yeah,
Okay, what made you switch to atheism? What's up with that?
literally just trying to prove the Bible was real. I turned into an atheist by trying to prove the Bible was real because
Okay.
history just wasn't matching up to things that was in there.
Okay. Okay.
Like I'm kind of a person that wants to see proof, and I didn't. And the things I have seen in my life kind of led me to believe that maybe things weren't like I was taught. Maybe things weren't like I was told. So, I mean, there was no animosity, there was no mad at God shit or whatever, because I just didn't believe it exists. So, I mean,
Okay.
that's pretty much what it was.
Now, let me is there any more questions from chat? Again, a lot of people who are going, I
I'm literally
believe
looking
that.
for that damn fight poster. It says that
Nice.
Fabio Costa was coming in for Patrick Berry.
Okay, JD Hendricks.
It was a long time ago, but yeah.
All right, everybody else, any questions that we're gonna get through before we wrap this up? Because after we wrap up the interview, I'm gonna give a short kind of like pill to swallow of what went down, and then we're gonna pretty much wrap it up. Um, uh, I guess pretty
Yeah, you could
much.
show the video.
Here we go. Yeah, let me, I want to make sure that that video is, in fact, showable. Let me, what's his face? That fucking Rocco guy. Hold on. Yeah, you sent me that shit. Let me, guys, I'm gonna prove to you that this Rocco guy did, in fact, admit to illegal child material, because this is very important. There was like one or two people that were trying to defend him, which I thought this was incredible. Because my favorite part about Rocco's video is that he made a video going after TakeDownMan, but after during his own video, he proves everything that TakeDownMan said in his own video. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was very interesting. By trying to go after Takedown, he proves things that TakeDownMan said about him. I thought that was very interesting. Odd thing, So.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing clickable. You can't.
Hold on, let me just skip to the part that I feel like is very, very important.
What your not exact file in question is I'm pretty sure there was a girl land at you.
So essentially, I'm just gonna kind of try to give as much context as I can here, so we can look through it really fast. So essentially, TakeDownMan was making accusations against this guy named Project Rook, or as it used to go by, Surviving Life. TakeDownMan's main accusation was him saying, "Yo, why do you log in to these illegal child sites?" Surviving Life then replied with, "No, he does not." And then inside the exact same video, he then proceeds to log into illegal child sites. A very interesting turn of events here. Incredibly interesting how that works. You really don't see things like that. It's almost like something out of a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. It's like, you don't wanna. No, you do wanna. No, you don't wanna. You do wanna. And, yeah. He pretty much told on himself. I thought that was odd.
That's what I do.
Like, seriously, you go to these websites, dude, and, like, for that, like, 2 seconds before it blurred out, it actually had your account on there, dude. It had your username.
You heard that. That is a video that TakeDownMan made very many years ago. He just said that for a second, it had his user on there. That is TakeDownMan's claim. And now, essentially, what I'm going to do is show you guys the exact video. That is TakeDownMan's claim. He's saying, yo, you had a username on this illegal child material site. And that is
username. I don't care what you say it was for.
Okay, so we're going to get the serious stuff out of the way. We're going to address the accounts, the accounts on these distribution and chat room sites that I supposedly have.
You see, he said that I supposedly have, right? He just said accounts that I supposedly had. Let's skip forward. Let's get through the fluff. Here's an illegal child site that he is on.
All right, and our password can be whatever, and then it's PNJZU.
Enter chat.
Enter chat. How does this not make sense to people? Like.
And he just logged into an illegal child material site. He just logged into an illegal child material site.
So here we are. I just want to.
And here's him on another illegal child material site. Here's him logging into another one. And now he actually states that he created burners for these illegal child sites. This is what this guy is saying, that he made burners for these illegal child sites. Again, TakeDownMan's accusation is, yo, you have accounts on illegal child sites. He then replies with, no, I don't. I have burners on multiple sites. What an asshole. What an asshole. What? Okay, so you just admitted it. He just admitted it. My God, yeah.
Exactly.
He just admitted it. So it's fucking weird. Like, I don't understand where his head was at. But
and everybody says I was bullshit.
Yeah, like he literally made a video just admitting it. It's fucking insane. I couldn't understand that. He's on a website called Boys Land and Girls Land. That needs to tell you all you need to fucking know.
Yep, and then the other one where he's like, oh, that's normal porn. We don't want that. I'm like, whatever.
Jesus. Hold on. Alright. So with that being said, I guess I'm gonna just...
Yeah, and I just sent you a link to the other fight too.
Gotcha.
That was the one that Patrick Berry was supposed to be in.
Okay. But then it fell out.
It's crazy because now I can... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's why I said, I mean, honestly, he was supposed to be the one fighting, but...
Yeah, you ended up
don't get me wrong. Everybody knew, like, I wasn't prepared to fight people that were, like, really, like, 30, 40 fights in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they offer me, like, 15, 20 grand to fight, you know? Rex Richards, I got 20 grand. Fabio Costa, I got 15 grand. Like, I'm going to say no. Like, I wouldn't have cared if it was Patrick Berry and I went to the hospital. Like, shit, it was, that's a lot of money. Shit. I'm sorry, dude. I'll take an ass whipping for 20 grand. I mean, I will. I tell you, hey, growing up, I took ass whippings for free, so why not?
So, with that being said, I guess I'm gonna wrap up this interview. If you are willing to ever jump on again for another one, I'll be more than inclined to have you here, and or possibly,
Oh, yeah.
would you be more than happy to jump on another interview anytime in the future?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Nigel, UFC people get, millions for a fight, so whatever.
So yeah, I really appreciate you being on here, TakeDownMan. I really appreciate you coming out and sharing some of this information. And I think you vindicated a decent amount. I'm gonna go and do some research, make sure things are going. But you did show some very good evidence and receipts for some of the stuff you did claim, and I appreciate the fact that you did come prepared for to debunk some of the things that were said. I appreciate that, man. I really do.
I'm not poor dog, but okay.
So with that being said, man, you take care and have a good one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Peace out.
Yo, peace. Alright, yo, that was the first interview with TakeDownMan. Hopefully another one in the future. The only thing I'll say was the fact that I asked you guys for questions ahead of time. Nobody gave me any questions ahead of time, so I made like 2 to 3 pages of questions. And then out of nowhere, everybody had questions at the end, but then they were very far and few in between. Like, come on, guys. You can't do that. You can't do that. Dude, I wrote literally, let me show y'all guys something. Let me show y'all some bullshit right here, man. This is what I was going through the entire interview, okay? You see those check marks? Every check mark is me asking a question. This is what I was doing the entire interview, asking all these questions that I had to come prepared with. Because I asked you guys for fucking questions and nobody had nothing. You get this guy who hasn't been on YouTube for years, who has, all this fucking anonymity to the point and a lot of things said about him, and nobody got anything to say. Like, come on, what the fuck? Y'all should have came, man. Y'all ain't come through. Samuel Weatherington, could you say baby burger? Like you said in the baby burger video? Nah, I can't say it just like that. I appreciate the dono, man. I really appreciate the dono. So essentially, let's do a quick rundown of what happened. So essentially, what I'm going through right here is that we went over Snuff R73. He pretty much gave me some very good information over who Vorsk is, how he caught wind of him, his purpose, his group, and psych ward forums, old Facebook posts, which again I need to write down. I'm gonna be going over that. I need to look through some of these old Facebook posts, and we're gonna be going over that hopefully at some point. We're gonna take note of that. What else? So that's something I'm gonna try to look into Vorsk, see if I can find anything else about him. But everything else I'm pretty much seeing on the top checked out. I definitely got to say, because everything that he did send me, everything that was Snuff R73 related and Vorsk related, he did send me empirical evidence with screenshots and proof of forums. So again, that cannot be brought into question. There are things on stream that you can question, but this, I will not allow any questioning of the Snuff R73 or Vorsk shit. I will not allow any questioning because he sent me foolproof receipts. And if I'm sent foolproof receipts, again, like, what am I supposed to do when I ask what color is the sun and he sends me a picture of a yellow sun in the fucking sky? Am I really gonna let you question whether or not it's blue or green? Like, no, we're not gonna do that. Here's my thing. Old Facebook posts, we're gonna go over that. I'm gonna probably go through those. Vorsk, Surviving Life, he did send me videos, and it's not even like, here's a big thing when it comes to Surviving Life. It's not even like TakeDownMan had to send me proof of that. Surviving Life uploaded these videos himself, okay? Surviving Life uploaded a video of himself, and I just showed you it, of himself admitting to making burner accounts on illegal child material sites. So TakeDownMan didn't really have to send me too much evidence on that when there's a guy on camera literally admitting to the accusations. TakeDownMan made the accusation, you go on illegal child sites. Surviving Life then replied with, so what? Like, what? You can't do that. It's insane. So I'm gonna definitely look into Surviving Life more. We're gonna look into some of that evidence that's been compiled against him. Then on top of that, we're gonna go ahead and look into that all checked out. Surviving Life checked out. Did for living, yeah, all this checked out. A Scream Bitch, we're gonna go ahead and look into that a little bit more. Yeah, everything looks to have checked out right here. Best score, and then on the second sheet, yeah, there's really nothing much. So here's pretty much what I'm gonna go ahead and say right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and look into that Masha thing as well. I'm gonna go ahead and do some research on that. So this is what I gotta do right now. I'm gonna look into the Pat Berry thing, the Pat Berry situation, because there could be truth behind that. Again, I do have to look into that, and he did prove that he had more than one MMA fight. He had a couple. How many did he have? Again, I don't know, but at the end of the day, he was fighting around the mid 2000s, late 2000s. So again, on the amateur circuit, so not everything will be recorded, especially during that time. Even today, that won't all be recorded. So again, I'll cut him some leeway on that. That is true. Not everything will be recorded today on the amateur circuit, let alone 10 to 15 years ago. So again, I gotta be unbiased. That's a huge thing. A lot of people don't like that. I gotta be unbiased. It's only fair. Again, you gotta do what's called due diligence and research. If you don't have proof of something happening or proof of something that didn't happen, then you can't say either or. You have to say, I don't know. You know, that's only fair. Coolravens says, by the way, you have nice handwriting. I appreciate that. Thank you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into this Tony Hall dude. We're going to look into TakeDownMan's record. Because I do have a lot of websites I have subscriptions to. So I can go ahead and look into case numbers. And he did send me the actual case number. Which, again, I would be leaning to him telling the truth. Mostly because it's like, you know the balls you would have to send somebody the case number. And then be like, yeah, he ain't going to look into it. And then literally tell me how to look into it. And then give me pointers on how to do so. I mean, the chances of him lying about that after giving me the evidence and telling me how to go about it, even though I do know how to go about it, he's like, yeah, here's the fucking evidence. Here's the case number. He gave me the case number. And that, again, the dates do match up. He said it happened when he was around 20 years old. According to the paper, it happened 24 years ago, which would match up to how old he was. It's crazy. I'm not gonna say it because again, we don't know, but I think that, let me not get ahead of myself. I'm under the impression that TakeDownMan is on the road of full vindication. He's on the road of it. I don't know what's gonna pop up and I don't know what's gonna happen. But what he has sent me so far was empirical evidence. Okay, that's a huge thing. A lot of people are upset on the fact that I am believing evidence that has been stamped by government officials. And evidence that has been screenshotted from 10-year-old forums. And then trying to chalk it up as me being manipulated. Here's the problem with that. The government is not manipulating me. Okay, these are government files that I have been sent. Okay, I was sent government files. You're telling me that the government is lying for TakeDownMan. Is that what you're telling me? That the government is lying for a fucking YouTuber? Is that what I'm supposed to believe in? Who am I going to believe in? You, who does not like him? Or the government, who has to take down these notes for statistical and obviously prosecution reasons? I'm going to be more inclined to believe the government than some guys online. No offense. Okay? So when he's sending me government and court documents with case numbers, I think I'm more inclined to believe that. So again, we will see You know, once I start looking into the case number, once I start looking into these court documents, and I take a look at everything. But as far as the Vorsk situation, as far as the Snuff R73, a little bit more research will be done on that, but all of that checked out. Surviving Life checked out. The illegal material, Master Chan, all that checked out. And the only things that need to get looked into, not that they did not check out, it's just that they need to be looked into, is Pat Berry. I gotta look into Pat Berry. I gotta look into this Masha Bobka chick or whatever. And I gotta look into Tony Hall. Now, essentially, from the ketchup bottle situation, I'm gonna give my opinion on the ketchup bottle situation. This is my opinion on the ketchup bottle situation. So if y'all don't know what the ketchup bottle situation is, let me just reiterate it really fast. Essentially, what's being said is that TakeDownMan uploaded a video to YouTube. And again, he went over it and we talked about it for a little bit. TakeDownMan uploaded a video on YouTube some years ago. And inside that video, hold on, Cold Raven, you planning on playing Dragon's Dogma? I don't even know what the fuck that is, but I appreciate the donation. Appreciate the $5 dono. I do not know what Dragon's Dogma is. But here's what I'm going to say right here. Thank you for the donation. The ketchup situation. This is what it is. Here's the two sides to it. Side number one is TakeDownMan's story. TakeDownMan's story goes like this. There was a guy who got his ass whooped inside of an apartment or house. You know, whichever, it doesn't matter really. That detail is not important. And that there was blood on the walls. And there was blood on the floor. And this guy was shivering. And that TakeDownMan recorded it. And because this guy got his ass whooped, you know, there's broken pickle jar on the floor. There's a ketchup bottle on the floor because shit got knocked over. That makes sense to me. Okay, that makes sense to me. Now, on the other hand, there's people claiming that there was a guy faking being beaten up. Faking being on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Faking his injuries. And that there was TakeDownMan, the ketchup on the floor was him putting ketchup on the walls and shit like that. Again, now, which side am I more inclined to believe? I gotta be honest. I don't know which side to believe in because neither side can prove it. Neither side can prove it. I gotta be honest. Here's the point. I gotta be unbiased. TakeDownMan has one story. These people have another story. Okay? Neither side is showing evidence. That's why I asked TakeDown. I was like, yo, you got a video of it? Because if you can show me a video of it, I can just look at it and be like, oh, that's true or false. You know what I'm saying? But there's no video as of right now. I'm going to do research on that. I'm going to see what I can find. And truth will be uncovered. I do feel like TakeDownMan was being honest with me. Because, again, everything he did tell me, he gave me receipts ahead of time before we went over it. And it's things that we talked about in private before we went public with it. So he has a track record. As of right now, TakeDownMan has a track record with being honest with me specifically, as far as I'm concerned and as far as I know. That is subject to change depending on what happens in the foreseeable future. Again, as I say, I gotta do research before I bring a verdict. And some of you may fucking hate that, which I don't understand why you would. Which, to the few people who were upset that I didn't just bring the hammer down on them, I gotta ask you, what the fuck is wrong with you? Imagine if you were on trial. Would you want the person prosecuting you to do due diligence and to find evidence before claiming you to be guilty? Or would you want to just have somebody say you're guilty? So for anybody here getting upset that I'm doing my due diligence and I'm looking into, you know, things, I'm looking into case numbers and I'm looking into government files before I go ahead and deem him guilty or innocent, you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry, you're a fucking idiot. And honestly, you need to grow the fuck up. Because this is how adults do things. You have to do research. And if you can't understand the idea of doing research before coming to a conclusion, you need to grow the fuck up. You really do. And again, it was only 1 to 2 people doing this. But it was a very, very loud minority. When you have 400, at a point, 400 something people live, and there's 2 people spamming the chat being asshats, not liking the fact that I'm not punching down on a guy who has sent me receipts and is currently being honest with me, you know, that's kind of corny. It's fucking cringe. It's really fucking cringe and childish. If you're on court and you're being prosecuted, would you want them to show found evidence? Or would you want them to just say, you're guilty? Come on. What the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, only very few. But again, it's insane. It's absolutely insane that some of you felt that way. Very, very small amount of you felt that way. But it's ridiculous. Very, very ridiculous. So, again, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look into those situations. Yeah, they were fucking annoying. It was just, again, I'm trying to have a civil conversation with the guy. And again, at the end of the day, TakeDownMan did not have to do this. He didn't. But he was willing to reach out and throw me a bone. Willing to do it. Which, again, I appreciate that much. But, again, it's just like to the very, very vocal minority. Next time, I'm just going to ban you. That's just what's going to have to happen. Because some of you were getting timed out because I'm lenient. But the idea that I'm trying to get information and you're going to heckle while information is being given is pretty stupid. It's like you asked him a question. He's trying to answer the question. And while he's trying to answer your question that you asked him, you're trying to slap the microphone out of his hand. So you're not even here to participate. You're here to just troll. That's what you're here for. You're here to troll. And that's stupid. Because like I said, I like to troll. I like to have fun. We all like to be asshats. But there's a time and place for a thing like that. And when you ask a man a question and he's trying to answer it, don't try to slap the fucking mic out of his hand. And don't try to heckle him. It's stupid. It's cringe. It's childish. My lord. It's absolutely stupid. So at the end of the day, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do some research on these things and on these topics. I'm going to look into some case numbers. I'm going to talk to some of these guys. I'm going to see if I can get in contact with some of these guys. I'm going to see what I can do. As of right now, as a track record stands, I'm leaning towards, again, I'm going to, because this is my channel. I'm the jury here. This is TakeDownMan right here. I'm leaning towards his favor. I walked into this interview unbiased. I wanted to be unbiased because, again, being unbiased is the best way to get the truth. Punching down on a man is not going to make him want to be comfortable or talk. So he was able to find it within himself to be, honest and tell me what he wanted to tell me and give me receipts. And I'm going to go look into those receipts, spend some time doing that over the night and over the week. I'm going to do more research, and possibly a part 2 of this interview will be coming out. Now, as far as this video will go, I will be chopping it up and possibly putting it out on YouTube in the coming week. And with that being said, the uncensored version will probably go on Patreon or something. This completely uncensored, unfiltered, uncut will go on Patreon. But, I will cut it up and make a YouTube video out of it. That's what's going to happen. So I want to say thank you to everybody that, showed up. Thank you to TakeDownMan for reaching out. Thank you for, allowing me to have this conversation. It was a very constructive conversation. And we'll see what happens. And I'll be doing my research. And once research is done, we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Again, I think we're on the road of vindication rather than the road of demise. This is my opinion as of right now. As my opinion stands for the time being. Everything is subject to change. We don't know. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards the side of vindication rather than demise. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody for showing up. Thank you to everybody for showing out. Thank you to everybody who donated. Shout out to TakeDownMan for reaching out to me and picking up this call. We had over 400 people inside the stream at a point. That was fucking dope. There may be a part 2 and or a fucking second interview coming up. And then what I'm planning on doing is hopefully having it all amalgamated, if that's even a word, and we'll put it all together. So with that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all the fuck later. That's the end of the stream. It's gonna get privated. Uncensored version on Patreon. If anybody tries to re-upload the stream, you will get banned. I'll hit you with a DMCA. I'll do one of those. But I'm your boy Cold Raven, yo. Peace. That was an insane stream right there, yo. Holy shit.